I like the older '90s Batman cartoons too. They were pretty cool.
Yeah, Batman Beyond is pretty incredible.
Yeah, Batman Beyond was good too. Yeah, I liked it a lot as a kid, but I don't remember it that well. But yeah, I did like it a lot. I should
Yeah,
probably revisit them and stuff.
yeah, the animated series. I mean, wow, it's actually incredible. It's one of their deepest shows.
It's declining. Everything is declining. You know, we used to have better stuff in the past, but now everything declines basically.
Yeah, even Ren and Stimpy has better social commentary than most shows.
I
You
don't
know, than
know.
most of the
Yeah.
I mean, intellectual shows today. You know?
Well, yeah. I would say it's
Yeah,
better than Nick Fiantes or it's better than Andrew Wilson, Ren and Stimpy.
right.
But
Yeah,
yeah, but it's still not what you
yeah.
want.
Ren and Stimpy from the '90s is more potent than Andrew Wilson today. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's more potent like social commentary.
yeah.
And Machine, if you want to share something to review, Pino, what's up, man? Avian, what's
Yo,
up?
what up?
We just
Yo,
went live
listen,
now.
I don't know, I was just going over that. Like, I tried. Like, listen, I haven't watched the Pierce versus Nick Fuentes interview yet, right? And like, I started watching it, and I listened to about like 15 minutes of it, and like my brain
Yeah,
started to hurt
it's retarded, dude.
like a
It's
lot.
retarded. Like,
Yo,
like
it's so bad.
it's really
Like,
bad.
holy shit.
He's like, "Have you had sex before?" That's literally a question.
Yo, I've never, like, I didn't even get to that point, bro. I got to the point where like he was like pearl clutching about the racist thing, right? And then
The
like
only
they got
part I
into like
watched.
the murder statistics, and I was like, I'm done, dog. Like, I'm done. I fucking can't. You know what I mean? Like, I fucking can't with y'all.
Yeah, I didn't watch
It's
the
too
black stuff.
much.
I only watched like where he's asking him if he has sex before. I'm like, okay, this is weird tabloid shit. It's like
Oh,
a tabloid.
yo, listen, I got some memes for y'all, then, bro. Like, literally, yo, you're gonna love this, machine, right? So the Anglos are trying to claim that humanity, right, evolved out of motherfucking Britain.
Right. That's Darwin. Yeah.
No. They're actually trying to claim that like Australopithecus, right, the whole thing evolved out of Britain.
What, you're talking about like British Israelism?
No. They're trying to claim that like they were the original humans, like the whole way. Like, fuck out of Africa. They're trying to claim out of Britain.
Wasn't the Cro-Magnon found in France though? Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. They're retarded, right? They're retarded. Like, yo, it used to be we was Romans, and then the black slaves from them said that we was kings, right? And now, motherfucking the English are saying we was monkeys. Like, it's fucking bad, dog. Like, these motherfuckers are insane. Crazy as shit. I've seen this today, bro. I was just like, yo, what is this nonsense?
Like who is claiming it? Just some dumb people online, or like their actual institutions or something? Like,
I
who's
have
claiming
no
it?
idea. I have no clue.
Okay.
Right? Listen, like, I don't know. Somebody sent me a meme with like an out of Britain meme, right? Where like they have like, oh, like this was discovered here, this was discovered here, this was discovered here, right? Britain were the original humans.
But Pino, you realize anyone from any country can say something stupid, right? You know, like that doesn't mean like the
Yeah.
Anglos believe that.
Listen. The Anglos are the worst, bro. All right, they're the fucking worst.
See, okay.
Right? They appropriate everybody else's shit and then try to claim it for themselves.
Well, I mean,
it's like the Nazis, like carving swastikas in the fucking like Egypt.
I mean, the like legacy is pretty bad because they did invent like empiricism, capitalism.
They didn't. They did not. The Portuguese invented fucking capitalism. The Catholic monks invented empiricism. They didn't invent any of
I'm
this
talking
shit. They
about
stole all of it.
no. I'm talking about John Locke.
No, again, the Portuguese like fucking were doing capitalism long before Locke existed.
I'm not talking about people selling shit. That's not what I'm talking about.
No. I'm not talking about commerce. No, I'm not. Again, we're not talking about commerce. I'm talking capitalism. Right? The modern form of capitalism was invented by the Portuguese in motherfucking 1450. They did not invent any of this stuff. None of this is theirs. They stole all of it. Their court system is Germanic, which was based off the Romans.
Did they have a constitution where private property was enshrined as like a feature of
Yeah.
law?
Yes, all these things, right? These were all like fucking charters from the motherfucking kings, right? They gave like fucking private
There you
property
go.
rights.
That's
to,
the
like,
problem. Is the
individuals.
king? The king it has the property, right? It's the charter issued by the king, so it's not property that they all own. It's still the king. The king still owns it.
No. Like all right. So when they started doing the colony thing in the age of exploration, is when it started happening with the private property shit, right? That shit, right, started with the Portuguese, right, and then went to the Spanish, and then went to the English because the English were late to the game. The English picked it up in the Caribbean because like there was English like traders, right, who were in the Caribbean doing shit in like Jamaica and Haiti and shit. You know what I mean? Right, literally like the whole plantation thing. You know what I mean? Like owning the property, owning the people, owning the means of production, right, being able to profit off of it. All this shit came from motherfucking like the Caribbean and the fucking Spanish and Portuguese.
By the way, you guys can restream this to your channels if you guys want to. I'm just letting you guys know. For at least the next month. All right, cool.
I think the Jays right now are way bigger problems than Anglos. Really, the Jays, like,
I mean, you just push a button. You can just push a button and it'll restream. You don't have to do anything. I'm just letting you know. All right, cool. But anyway, yeah. So wait, what are you guys saying? The Jews are what? The Jews are Anglos again?
I'm saying the Jays are a way bigger problem than the Anglos right now.
Listen, I'm telling you, the Anglos are a bigger issue. They've always been a bigger issue, right? Like literally, like the Jews would not be in charge if it were not for the Anglos. The Jews would not and the Jews aren't even really in power. They're not, right? The Jews are like the middlemen, right? Who are like fucking the front-facing thing for the Anglos.
But you see, in ancient times, the Persians made the same mistake. They gave the Jays a lot of power, and it didn't end well. Like the Exilarchs or whatever. It's true they were backed by the Persians, but I think the Anglos made a mistake. But Anglos still have way more honor than a Jay does. I mean, a Jay has no.
No,
honor.
They don't. They have no honor. No, because at least the Jews have a culture. Right? Like literally the Anglos have nothing. They sold their culture to have the power they have. They've sold their soul a long time ago.
Yeah, I have many Anglo friends though. You know what I mean? Like I just cannot really get behind that. I cannot betray my friends. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that.
Yeah, listen, I don't care. I have black friends, right? But I have no problem saying like black people are a fucking problem.
But can you make your language more precise then? I say Anglo elite, the elites in the Anglo sphere. I can agree with that. Like the British royal family, most Anglos don't like them either. You see what I'm trying to say? But the common Anglo man shouldn't be blamed for what the elites do. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
No. Again, because like they're the same ones who will destroy everybody else's culture because they go, ours is superior because we make money. Right? It's like, oh, listen, well, our culture conquers things, right? Our culture is like fucking richer, so therefore we're better than all of you, right? While they're standing here eating fucking shit tons of goy slop, poisoning their fucking bodies. Like, listen, the Anglos are the goddamn problem. They've always been the problem.
But
they don't give a fuck about
the Anglo royals, the elites are also sacrificing their own people, while allowing a flood of immigrants to come into their countries. I don't see why you should blame the common Anglo who's suffering too. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Because the Anglos defend their system. The common Anglos defend their fucking shit.
They have children and they also have to survive. You have to be compassionate a bit. You see what I'm saying? It's good to be a bit compassionate. Like you see the whole story. You know what I'm saying? It's not like
I am compassionate, bro. Like, listen, we don't have to put like the common Anglos on a pike like we do with their upper class. We'll just shoot them in the fucking face. Make it fast.
That's fucking crazy. That's crazy, man. I can't get behind that. You're insane, man.
Yeah, listen. We'll do it. We'll get it over quick with them. You know what I mean? We'll take compassion.
No. We cannot be on the same side. This is too much for me. This is too much for me now. No.
Maybe if he has a Anglo hollow hoax, it's going to create the new Philadelphia thing.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Yeah.
It's like it's propagated. Yeah, but I mean, you already admitted last show that it's that it's the Jays who put him in charge, right, or whatever. Yeah, what does that sound? Yeah, I think your mic cut out. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Who's that? Who's that? Probably Tinoid or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think his mic
Yeah, it
cut
must be
out.
Pluto.
There
Okay.
we go. Better.
Crazy.
All right. Yeah. Yo, listen, I'm gonna have to come right back. I gotta go. I gotta do work real quick.
Alrighty then. The J Dogs. We're gonna shoot the Anglos in the face.
The old Anglo versus Jew debate. I think that'll be the timeless debate that'll go on once white people and Jews are wiped off the face of the earth.
What about the white Jews?
I think Anglos have too much of a rich culture to really
kill the white man. Kill him until he is dead.
they have too much of a rich culture to become like that.
I mean,
There's
I like
something
that. I like that. Pinoid's argument basically comes down to kill Whitey. That's pretty much his argument.
Yeah. Also, the thing is, I want to say something is, when I look at the J culture, it's repulsive. But when I look at Anglo culture, you see there's a lot of good stuff in it. You know what I mean? It's not like J culture, which is like fundamentally repulsive. You don't really see high art or high culture among the J's as much. I mean, just look at the Yiddish music. It's disgusting. Yiddish is a disgusting language. Same with the way Mizrahi behave. They're all very disgusting people.
Did you guys hear what I said? I said, I don't know if you guys heard me or not. My thing went out for a second.
Yeah, I heard you. I mean, I can hear you. But you can hear me? Or yeah, that's it.
Guess not. Wow. It's classic Neurojack stream. Where it's just like,
yeah, some Anglos are Zionists, but I think Zionists exist among every race or group of people. It's not just exclusive to the Anglos, but it's like everywhere. Can you hear us now, Neurojack?
Yes, I can. Yep.
I was saying there's something repulsive about the culture of the Jays, but it's not like that of the Anglos. The Anglos have a high culture. They have many admirable aspects that you like their literature, like Shakespeare or Kenneth Graham, or there's a lot of good literature among the Anglos. But it's not like that of the Jays. Like Yiddish language sounds disgusting and repulsive.
Well, I'll put it like this: like, there's so much effort to like demonize Anglos going on. And you could say the same is true for the Jews, but it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just kind of a weird thing. Whereas like there's so much propaganda coming out of like corporate circles that you can actually like trace back and see the money where it's coming from and stuff. You're like sitting there thinking like, man, like if the Anglos are in charge, there's sure a lot of money pumping out anti-white propaganda for them to be in charge. So like that's where I get lost. I'm like,
no. Here's the two things: is that either because he said they let the Jays rule them. That's one of the points he made. But he also said that the Jays are not in charge. The Anglos are in charge. And then he also said that those who are in power are very good at attaining that power. That's why they have it. Right. So putting all that together, I'd say that the Anglos have quite a bit of finesse in attaining all this power, even through the Jays or not through the Jays, right?
Well, I guess here's what Pill Eater's saying a lot is that he says that like ultimately like there are Anglos in charge, but they're basically so Judaized that they see themselves as second class Jews, and therefore like almost all other whites are their enemy by default. And I think that's a pretty good way of putting it. Like why are like basically like they're saying all these things against the Jews because their actual target are other whites, right? But and they're doing that for another reason, which is that they need to bring all the brown people into the fold without them catching on to the fact that the Jews and the Anglos are still working together ultimately, right? Because it's kind of moved beyond racial and it's now like transhumanist, right? And so they're like, okay, well, we can make deals with the Indians and the Russians, but the Chinese, we can't trust them because they actually believe in race and they actually believe in blood and they actually like aren't transhumanists. So I think that's kind of where I think that's a pretty good way of looking at it as far as I can tell. Like, I don't know if that's exactly 100%, but like, I don't know. That's just kind of like a good, like, I don't know. It seems more plausible that way to me.
The thing about the, Anglo elites is they don't seem to care about their own people either. I mean, the people who are suffering the most are the regular Anglo people underneath the Anglo elites. So you see what I mean? That's been like that since Industrial Revolution. And the Anglo elites, they are very strange, people. But, I don't think the common person, by common person, I mean just people not in like have strong ties to Congress or government or whatever. I don't think they really have much to do with the elites. I have an Anglo friend. He's a Buddhist. He actually translated Nagarjuna, believe it or not. I actually talked to him a bit. He actually claimed the elites in UK, they are really sick people, what I mean? They don't really care about their own people either. They're elites, I mean, the royal family. But you can make the argument a lot of countries are like that, though.
See, this is what's really common though, and again, like Machine, feel free to jump in because you probably have a lot better of a hunch than me. But like, what I do know is this: it's like, first of all, like the British royalty are not like really British ultimately. Like, there's some sort of weird German, Transylvanian, crypto Iranian Jews or some shit. I don't know what exactly they are, but they're not really British, right? They're not really Scottish or something, as far as I can tell. I mean, I'm sure somebody will correct me or something, but like as far as I can tell, they're not really British. It's kind of like in Thailand, right? Like Thailand's one of the last monarchies, right? But a lot of people don't know that like the Thai royalty are actually like crypto, like weird bloodline, like Chinese Jew people or something from Burma. So they're not really, Thai per se, right? Like you go look at the kings and queens of Thailand, and then you go look at the average Thai person. Like they don't really look alike, right? Like so, it's kind of weird where like a lot of people in the world are being ruled by rulers that are supposedly like their people, but they're actually not from there. So I don't know, and I think Pinoy's article was kind of about that, which was kind of interesting. But I don't know. I'm not exactly sure where to go with that. But like, I think there's a kind of a big psyop going on where like people want a king, but it's like, are your people even from that place? It's kind of like Hawaii, right? Like I was hearing these people recently. There's a bunch of Filipinos in Hawaii, and they go around like shaming white people for going to Hawaii, but like they're Filipino and they're not from Hawaii either, but they look Hawaiian, so they just go around saying like they're Hawaiian, right? So it's kind of like this weird, like everybody's just kind of like, doing the victim Olympics, like, or whatever. I don't know. It's like some kind of weird shit going on.
Yeah, I see your point. It just makes more sense to say you want to get rid of people like that instead of like, regular people or, civilians or something like that. You have to distinguish, the bad people from the good people. You see what I mean? It's like common sense, like, or like just basic being humane. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to go. You know, it's kind of like the way the Jays view the Palestinians. They don't really distinguish, you know, supposed terrorists from common people. They just, you know, they just want to kill all of them indiscriminately. You see what I mean? Supporting indiscriminate slaughter is not a good thing. You see what I mean? Like, yeah.
Well, this is the thing: is like the Jays have taken credit for European culture, right? They've done it numerous times, right, throughout history. You know, you look at Oliver Cromwell and Manasseh ben Israel, right? You look at the entire legacy of you know, communism and all these different things, right? You know, obviously, even in terms of capitalism, they've greatly influenced the culture, right? You look at Amsterdam and the rise and all the Europeans that have moved to Israel, right? I mean, it's been largely European countries that have supported the rise of Israel, right? This is an actual fact.
What would you say the role of Saudi Arabia? Sorry if I interrupted you.
It is Britain's project, though. Israel is 100% a United Kingdom project.
Right. Right. Why would they create something like that? To give themselves credence and legitimacy because of the Bible. It's obvious.
I think it more has to do with OPEC, you know, because, you know, Israel is able to serve as a kind of aggressive force, and it can like keep the OPEC prices favorable to Western markets. You see what I'm saying?
Well, actually, the Saudis are working with the Jays.
Yes.
Right. We've been over this tons of times. Right. They're actually, I mean, the Saudi Arabians are just a sister state of Israel that's also created by Britain. So they're both created by Britain. But the issue is to what end, and why has one group of people been bolstered far more, right? One group of people has defined the West spiritually. The other group of people has just defined the West through business, right? They have business relations, right? Of course, even the Jews have business relations, right? But who spiritually defines Western nations? The Judeo-Christian values. I've heard it 100 different authors say Judeo-Christian, 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 Judeo-Christian. When they say Judeo-Christian, they really mean Western. They really do. They mean European, but they really mean Western, right?
Yeah, can I add something to that? Do you know about William E. Simon from 1970s? William E. Simon. Simon.
No, I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, William E. Simon went to Saudi Arabia and Iran. He actually wanted the oil to be priced in US dollars, William E. Simon, but the Shah had disagreed to his proposal, and he called the Shah a nut. You know, I can give you the article about that. And then he went to Saudi Arabia with the petrodollar deal, and Saudi Arabia agreed to it. And, you know, and then after that, America got very close to Saudi Arabia. See, so it had to do with business with William E. Simon. I think he was the Secretary of State at that time. I have to double check, but I can give you the article if you're interested.
Yeah. He was the Secretary of State under Nixon, right?
Yeah, your audio's messed up. I mean, your audio's messed up.
Yeah, that was. Is my audio messed up? Like,
yeah, it's like,
yeah, there we go. Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah.
I apologize. My fault. It was my fucking like up instead of down. Yeah, so like he was under Nixon, right? Nixon worked out the petrodollar after the 7 days where the Yom Kippur War. Motherfucking caused our backing of Israel caused an OPEC embargo, right? That ended up like causing us to have oil shortages, right? Gasoline shortages and shit. Yeah. So they went and created the petrodollar.
Right, and who engineered that? Was it a guy named Henry Kissinger?
It was a guy named Henry Kissinger and that William E. Simon guy.
Right. So a Jew, like one of the leaders of the B'nai B'rith, right, or whatever.
I mean, like, you know, man, listen, like the fucking Jews have been like infiltrated into the government, right? Ever since like the U.S. wanted to beat U.S. and the Anglos or the United States wanted to continue the Anglo war against the Russians, right? You know what I mean? Just like the greatest game that Britain used to play back in like the 1850s that ended up causing the rise of the Soviets, World War I, World War II, right? All these type of things, right? The United States continued on these same exact fucking practices where they surrounded Russia and wanted to beat them. So they grabbed like Jewish people on their aliyahs going back to Israel, right? And like fucking they traded with the IDF for information on the Soviet Union. That's how we ended up with that secret memo and shit at one point. You know what I mean? That was given to like, you know what I mean, everybody in the polar bear.
Yeah, I mean, the Jays are spying on both sides in the Cold War. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Right? You know what I mean? Like this is all like normal, you know what I mean, like fucking dumbass bullshit. Right? But the United States, like literally, they were so concerned about the Russians, right, that they sold their own people down the goddamn fucking river because like I'm not sure. Like the Anglos are a scared people, right? They are fucking terrified of the rest of the world. Like they have no I think it's their penises are small. I think that's the problem. Right? Their cocks are small.
Yeah, but
so
I mean,
worried about
yeah, but I mean, like historically, like, isn't it smart for people to be paranoid about their neighbors and like invaders and like shit like that?
No.
I mean, have you read history though? I mean,
I have read history, and by the way, Russia's 2,000 miles away.
Well. Yet Russia and the Jews run Silicon Valley, which pretty much runs the economy, though, right? So.
Again, listen, you understand Silicon Valley didn't exist back in like the 40s when all this started?
I mean, I've heard it credibly, argued that the Jews in Russia run Silicon Valley, though, right? So.
I don't care. Listen, I don't care. Oh my God, I don't care. Like, listen. Like this is the fucking problem, right? Again, this is the fucking problem. Why do you care?
Yeah, this to cheer Pinoid up.
Oh, did you see the memes I sent y'all?
You see this? This is in the box of Cracker Jacks.
Box of Cracker Jacks. Word. You see the meme I sent y'all?
It's a woman of mixed race origin in a wheelchair playing basketball. So we should all support her.
That's cool.
Based.
Those two stars look.
Let me see the meme. Hold on. Let me see the meme.
Referring to something I've seen. Some of those two stars.
Yeah, do you know? All right, so Neurojack, do you know why it is that like the Jews and the Russians run Silicon Valley?
I'm gonna guess the Anglos. I'm gonna guess it's the Anglos' fault.
Because you let them in. Swear to God. More worried about money than your own country. Stop letting them in.
Well, it might not even just be money. It might be like Protestantism.
Money. That too. Me and Gio were talking about for about 3 hours last night.
Yeah, like Protestants went back to like supporting the Jays, like even in Europe, because they had to like change the laws for religious tolerance. There's another place that John Locke comes in because he wrote a letter on I think it was something about religious tolerance, right? I actually have to look it up now, but he actually wrote a letter. He said like everyone should be allowed, like all religions should be allowed, like except for atheists.
Yeah. Right? I mean, like fucking William Penn went around like on a tour of tolerance in 1670, right? Again, before John Locke. Like John Locke he just literally plagiarized everything he did. None of his shit was original.
Yeah, but you know what's also interesting? Like William Penn and like John Locke, they like really liked the Kabbalah. They thought it was like great. Yeah. They thought it was like great stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of those like Quaker guys, like they were all like colluding with people who like studied the Kabbalah like all day long.
I mean, like the Quakers, like literally had no in-group reference whatsoever.
Right, but they really liked, you know, like certain figures. Like for example, right, like John Winthrop, right, like he like read like John Dee and stuff. and then like Walter Raleigh and like all these guys, like they all met like to study like the occult and all this stuff.
Yeah. Right? Like, again, so like all of these guys, right, were literally, that's why they got kicked out of fucking Britain. Right? Like everybody thinks the Quakers came from England. That's nonsensical gibberish. They were in goddamn like Denmark. Right? Because they had already been kicked out of England. And then like William Penn didn't go to England looking for people. He went to motherfucking Germany. He went on Germany on a tour of tolerance. That's why Pennsylvania is full of Germans. Right? Like this, like all these people were literally like fucking just rebellious little fucks. William Penn, again, he was the son of another upper class motherfucker, right? Like it's just all nonsense. Just spoiled brats.
Yeah, like Martin Luther had a like dude who supported him who wrote a book called De Arta Kabbalistica. This is Johann Reuchlin. You know, it was like a major figure in the Protestant Reformation. So like a lot of the Protestants, right, they were like, well, you know, the church doesn't represent Israel. So they started to understand new things. Like they were like, well, you can't look at the Bible in Latin. You have to read it in Hebrew. Like that's the stuff they started saying.
Yeah, like Martin Luther also had like a fucking scat fetish, right? I mean, like half of his writings are about his feces.
Right. But where did he get that from?
Himself. Like he was a foul, disgusting human.
Right, and like a lot of Anglos killed killed each other because the rulers were fighting over Catholics and Protestantism, right? So it's not like we just have like an organic choice to like choose one or the other. It's kind of like we have to survive and shit, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's more along the lines of like, so the Catholics are conservatives, right? Like they're like, yeah, listen, the Catholics literally brought like, you know what I mean, law and, you know what I mean, basic hygiene and like fucking structures of family that lasted for 1,000 years in peace, right? After the Romans fell, right? And then one guy got upset about like, you know what I mean, him, like, I don't know, like his autistic need to like fucking care about things being absolutely consistent all the fucking time, and threw everything the fuck away, right? And decided to like write about his fucking poop, right? These are the fucking guys who like, you know what I mean, literally like motherfuckers think are the right way to think, right? Because again, the Protestant kings, they just wanted the ability to do usury, fuck whatever bitch they want, get divorced whenever they want to. They wanted more freedom to be able to live how they wanted to live. And they didn't want to be tied to like a fucking church that said, no, here's the fucking rules, you stand by these. That's why they didn't like Catholics. It's not about, oh, the Pope's controlling things. No. The Pope was holding the fucking kings in line because it controlled the people, right? And their fucking morality.
But like by 1066, the Jews were like invading England with the Germans, right, or whatever, like the Norman invasion or whatever. So like that's like 1,000 years ago. They were like invading and taking over the Watt people in England, right?
No, they weren't. No, the Normans were literally Vikings.
Yeah, who were like working with a bunch of Jews and shit.
No, they were just Vikings, dude. You know, fuck all the Jewish shit. They were Vikings, right? They had been Christianized, and now they were just Christian Vikings.
I mean, but if I could prove to you that they were like being run by a bunch of Jewish bankers in Europe, like would that change your opinion, or it would be irrelevant?
Like, they weren't being run by a bunch of Jewish bankers in Europe. They literally had money from everybody, right? How do you fund a fucking bunch of ships to go invade England? There was 12,000 people that came over, right? So they had to buy a bunch of ships. Does anybody have that much cash laying the fuck around? No. So what do? You borrow money. Who are you borrow money from? The Jews. The Jews
I think
money to everybody.
Right. And how did they get that money? By predating on people who were not Jewish, right?
Again, they fucking did the same thing they always do. They ran the gold, diamonds, motherfucking like regular trades in and out of fucking Arabia, right, in the fucking Far East and the Near East, the
Right,
Levant.
like how they used the Mongolians to like go and rape and pillage Europe for like a couple hundred years, right?
They didn't use again like fucking. It was literally like fucking stupid fucking like Muslims at that point who knocked over a fucking pillar that was holding back the Mongols.
That's right. Look like you didn't. You shouldn't have called the Muslims stupid.
That was a
Audio
dumb
went
move.
out.
Are you gonna admit that was a dumb? You gotta admit that was a dumb move. You know what
Well,
I'm saying? Like, yo,
you broke up for like
knocking
2
off.
minutes.
Who was it?
Yeah, you broke up for like 2 minutes. You gotta
I'm
say
sorry.
that again.
Yeah, I apologize. Yeah, you gotta admit that was a dumb move. I think it was the Khazars. I forget who the fuck it was. It was like one of them like fucking countries, like Georgia, that general vicinity right there that separates the steppes from fucking the Middle East. Right? They knocked off one of those countries. The Arabs did. Right? And then that just opened the fucking door for the Mongols to just ramsack through, because they had been holding the Mongols back forever. Right? And the Mongols came in and ransacked everybody.
Yeah, but the Mongolians were being run by the Venetians, who were like stealing, like raping and pillaging all the silver and gold out of Europe. For
Oh my God!
you
Listen,
go.
Can you give me the source for that? Noodle Jack. Give me the source that the
if
Mongols
you just Google like Venetians, banking, and Mongols, like there's a bunch of stuff that's come out in the last like 3-4 years about it. So
If
it's like
that's true,
it's
then
kind
the
of
Italians are
it's
the
well
most
known now.
responsible for the biggest genocide. The Italians are the enemy of Iran because because
right. Okay. All right. So
if that's
here's the
fucking true,
question.
the Mongols. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You realize
here's
how
the
big of a
question,
deal
right?
that is? You know what I mean? If the fucking Venetians back the Mongols, you know, they fucking reduced the population and only reached their level again in the early 20th century, the Mongols. It's like the worst thing to ever happen in fucking Iran and Central Asia, if that's true. So,
Yeah. What year did the fucking Mongols come through?
it's like the 13th century, somewhere around there. You know, you had like Genghis Khan, and then you had Tamerlane and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. When did Venice get built?
421 AD, 421.
Or was it 421?
Yeah, somewhere around that, around 5th century.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was the Venetians that were running the Mongols. That doesn't make any fucking sense. But
I mean, it's a big claim going on in historical circles right now. I mean, I don't know if it's like fake revisionism or real, but this is like becoming a mainstream.
Yeah, I've heard this. I've heard this shit, right? Fucking from like Anglos who say that it was Italian bankers working with like the Dutch that fucking put in William of Orange and they were the ones who like let the Jews back in, and they were the ones who fucking like are responsible for it. Yeah, listen, again, these are all just Anglos coping and conceiving because their fucking kings made dumb decisions on a regular basis. Because they were rich and corrupt.
So could I apply the same to like why Italy is now like getting browner and browner every day?
I mean, yes, you can. Yes, you can. It's because they're part of the UN, right? Because the Americans bombed it out for 80 fucking years.
Well, isn't that making an excuse? I mean,
no. Like, listen, they're part of the UN. Name a country in Europe that's not getting browner that's part of the UN.
Okay, well, couldn't I make the same argument that that England was a part of like a proto UN back in like the 1000 to 1300 year mark?
No, you can't.
Why not?
Because they weren't.
Oh, I don't. Something about the Venetian nobility and the black nobility. Something about them I find more shady. You know, because each time I see something about the Pallavicinis or the Alla Bradandis or something like that, I see. You know, I read about it, and then the next week it's deleted. I came across like so many conspiracies about them on various websites, and then it's deleted and wiped out. So I don't know. You know, I've also heard conspiracies that the Safavids were backed by the Venetians. You know, I think they probably even mixed with the royalty or something, which I always found kind of fishy and strange. Right? And so there is something the to black nobility and Venetians. I think so. So I
I mean,
think
like, I know the Venetians were like Venice was a trade hub, right, for a lot of fucking years, right? Probably from like 800 until like 1500, 1400, something like that, right? Yeah, 1600. No. Fucking, it was after the fall of the Byzantines, right? And they gained the fucking they gained their big trade areas, right, and their empire after like the 13th, 14th century, something like that. That's how they ended up doing the Renaissance, because they took over the Silk Road.
Man, you left them speechless.
The Anglos.
I think we should watch some of that Nick Fuentes stuff now. Shit. Or Andrew Wilson or something. You want to pop that up? Let's do some review. An Earth supporter. Who would you be? Turians?
Yeah, he been watching the show for a little while.
All right, cool. Is he someone who joins panels?
Not yet.
All right, cool. All right. Well, if you want to share screen, you can. I know you got to go in a little bit too, but let's do a little review while we got everybody up on the.
What do you want to do? You want to do the Piers Morgan thing? Or
I don't honestly like. I've got so much stuff to review, but like, I don't want to just send you something. But I mean, whatever you think is most like relevant. I would say like, I've got like.
I don't know. It's up to Pinoid, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't really care. You know what I mean? Like, fucking.
All right.
I'm driving on the highway, so I'm kind of whatever.
All right, let me see if I can.
Let me see what's on right now. Maybe something's on right now, honestly.
Let's see. I'll take a look and see what I got in my playlist over here too. Like I know I got some crazy shit, man. Like I got some crazy shit I found, like psycho shit. Let's see if I can find it.
Yeah, throw your shit up then. Like I've been on it. Like I was like online yesterday. Like I just did a long show. Like I don't know what's relevant.
Let's see. I mean, honestly, I think that Candace Owens and like Erica and like Charlie Kirk and stuff like that, I think that's the fucking relevant shit. Because like, if you see how all that's playing out, I think that's very much like what Andrew Wilson is like doing right now.
So it seems to me
you want views?
Sorry, I had to take some time to process something. I think most war and conflict is just about securing like trade routes, you know, like Silk Road, you know, and also now there's the conflict over the India Middle East economic corridor and the oil pipelines. You know, I think focusing on Anglo takes away from that. You know, I was trying to process that, and I also have to go drink some water. But yeah, that's.
I disagree because like literally like Saudi Arabia and the House of Saud is a fucking Anglo project, right? Like India and Pakistan is an Anglo project, right? Like that whole God damn it, fucking Khyber, the Khyber Pass, right? Anglo project, right? Like all of these things are pet projects of the fucking Anglos. They got started like fucking 100 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, it's all tied in at the end of the day. And the difference between my shit and most everybody else's, I have evidence, right? Like, everybody knows, like, literally, like, how did the House of Saud get to be in charge of Saudi Arabia? Oh, they were there when Britain showed up and turned it into a fucking country and drew lines on a map, right? How was Israel put in? Oh, yeah. Motherfucking, like, yo, never changed.
Yeah, I got more information on that, too.
What up?
Like they murdered the population that was there.
Who did?
The House of Saud.
Yeah, they were fucking raiders.
Yeah, they're not
They
people
were
who
Bedouin
live.
raiders.
Yeah, they're not people who live there. No, they killed the Bedouins.
Yeah, they were just there at that moment, right? They were traveling through.
Give me a second. It looks like my StreamYard shit.
Let me just say one thing though. What you're claiming, the Anglos. Sorry for interrupting, but what you're claiming about the Anglos is they just succeeded at the game that everyone else was playing. Because there's this one quote I want to read from you from the British Empire. Nations have no permanent friends and no permanent enemies, only permanent interests. See, that applies to everyone. So yeah. There you go.
Interests come and go, right? As like resources get used up, your interest wanes.
Machina, put the Milo and Tim Pool video in the back if you want to play some of that. I think that would be.
Yeah,
I think that's very interesting. But oh, he's gone. Okay, he'll be back hopefully. Let me reset my thing because I think my audio cut out. Hold on.
Did you see Piers Morgan getting cucked? Like actually cucked by his wife and shit?
What?
Well, Pino, what do you think is going to get views? What was that you were saying? What will get views?
Oh, Piers Morgan's getting cucked by his wife.
Oh yeah. I have a screenshot. I actually have a screenshot of that. Let me see if I can upload it. It might not come through all the way, but I have a screenshot of that. Hold on.
I mean, like, there's whole videos on that shit.
How to give you views though? Like that's some.
Oh yeah.
Bullshit.
Well, I'll name the stream that tomorrow. I'll name it that tomorrow or something, and then that way I can like get ready for. Yeah.
Go right.
Piers Morgan gets cooked by Nick Fuentes.
No. He's getting cucked by his wife. Like, fucking Piers Morgan is a cuck and accused fucking Nick Fuentes of being a virgin. Right? You know what I mean? Like, what type of faggot fucking bullshit? Like, literally, his wife like has an Ashley Madison account, right? Which is like it's like a dating app for people who want to cheat, right? And then she's like, her Instagram's full of like guys in her underwear and like her fucking like hanging out and hanging all over guys and shit.
Wait, whose wife? Piers Morgan?
Piers
Morgan's wife.
Anyway,
that's fucked up.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, you act like that's not going to get you views. Yo, sex sells. Drama even more so.
The granny panties.
Yeah, his wife's literally cucking him. Like, not once has this bitch ever put up on an Instagram how sexy Piers Morgan is. But she puts up, like, fucking about everybody the fuck else.
Yeah, I put a screenshot of some of this stuff. I can't really see it on my little screen, but maybe you guys can see that.
A little bit I could see it. Something about Pool Boy. The text ain't visible. Piers Morgan is literally the most cucked man alive. His wife flaunts it everywhere. Damn.
Yeah.
So wait, that in the bottom middle is like a dude or a girl? What the fuck is that? I can't even see shit. Is that like a naked dude?
I think that's a dude.
So his wife. So the implication is his wife's posting naked dudes, whatever.
Yeah, and I guess this is from the Independent. This is like a headline. Piers Morgan's wife, Cecilia Walden, on a 6-week marriage sabbatical. It was very good for both of us.
Swingers.
Cringe.
They ain't swingers. No, they're not swinging. Like, she literally like got tired of him like fucking trying to like tell her she's like she got to stop fucking like banging all these dudes. She's like, I'll just leave you and go do it then.
Oh, I got a good one for you guys. Can you guys read this one here? Uh-oh.
Um,
No. Read it.
Introducing the Arizonan Israel Public Affairs Committee, Erica Kirk, Yair Netanyahu, and Tyler Bowyer.
yeah. I was in the car here and I turned on the NPR news or whatever, right? And they were all talking about Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes on NPR news.
Oh, that's gay.
And I was like, okay, so
Yeah, I got this other headline. So this says the intersectionality of Nick Fuentes.
yeah, look, it says the
Dumb
Groypers worldwide is Frankenstein made out of the race essentialism of the progressive left.
What a headline, right?
Hold up. Yeah, like,
Hey.
like this is the thing is that they are basically like using leftist talking points.
That's like some Frankist undertones in there. It seems like.
Like didn't Nick Fuentes go on and call like say Trump as like a fascist and stuff?
No.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
No, he just doesn't like Trump, just as a whole, because Trump's not doing what he says he's supposed to do. What he said he was going to do.
Right, but he also said he's trying to grab power, which is what he said was going to be a good thing earlier. So I was like, wait, he did a 180 on that.
Yeah, but he's grabbing power and giving it to, like, Israel military industrial complex, like fucking corporations.
Yeah,
Peter
we all
Thiel.
knew he was going to do that. Everybody knew that he was going to do that, except for Nick Fuentes.
Well, Nick's trying. Well, I'll tell you what. Like, his poll numbers are tanking, and part of the reason is Nick, right? And I've told you guys this before. Like, Nick is the sole reason for the hard right move of politics in the U.S. in the past, like, fucking 10, 15 years, right? Like, motherfuckers don't really understand, like, how important Nick is.
That's sad trombone.
But they're now they're like doing a thing where they're like going to be supporting leftists. Like I think like Nick Fuentes and Marjorie Taylor Greene and all these people, like even Wilson, they're being used to critique the right wing. They're not actually, and they're being used to actually present more moderate positions. Like Christian nationalism is more moderate than white nationalism, for example.
Is this like the gay triangle here? What's going on? It's like the Hermeticist triangle in the background there.
What about that other guy who used to be close to Trump? I forgot his name. Steve Bannon. Yeah, you know about him? What
Yeah, that guy's totally a simp for Israel.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He's totally
He's hanging out with
Zionist.
Epstein before he died, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's like
It's like, what the fuck is that about?
yeah.
He kind
Him
of
and
went
Roger
out
Stone-
of the limelight. He went out of the limelight.
Yeah, him and Roger Stone openly promote Zionism. They're literally like they say like it's okay for the West to be in the pocket of the Jews because they're spiritually linked.
Well, Pinoy thinks that's better than promoting Angloism, I think, though.
Well, there's like one of the emails.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've digged a lot into like different cultures, and I cannot really find a single thing to like about the Jays or the Jews, like really. Like, but with the Anglos, I find a lot of things.
Yeah, what about the Beastie Boys? Pretty cool.
Like Bannon was saying, like he does ops, that he does ops all day in like an email to Epstein or some shit.
Yo, Vanilla Ice was pretty cool.
There's a couple of them there. A couple like jazz musicians and stuff.
Hey, Jim Carrey's impression of Vanilla Ice is pretty good too.
Infected Mushrooms, pretty good artist duo.
Rodney Dangerfield was pretty based.
What about what's his name? Murray? What's his name? The actor?
Murray?
Bill Murray, there you go.
Oh yeah, Bill Murray's the shit, dude. Don't even get me started on Groundhog's Day. It's one of the most important movies ever made. That's got to be in my top 10. Groundhog's Day is definitely in my top 10. That was
a good movie. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Oh,
like
that
your
is
top
definitely-
10 list, you say?
Yeah, that's 1,000,000% a Taoist movie.
Yeah,
Groundhog
it was
Day.
a very good movie. One of the few popular good movies I like.
Yo, Jeff Goldblum. Yo, Jeff Goldblum's pretty based. Yo, my top 10. Yo, deep covers in that motherfucker. Lawrence Fishburne and fucking Jeff Goldblum. bruh, shit was fire.
Wait, Vanilla Ice was not Jewish. Did you guys say Vanilla Ice was Jewish? I don't
I
think
did
he
say
was.
Vanilla Ice,
he
man.
might
Fucking Henry Winkler,
say
or like Henry Van Winkler.
Did you guys know that Nick Fuentes' mentor is Jewish?
Oh yeah. Listen, most Italian fucking
surprised.
mentors are Jews. Yeah, most Italian mentors are Jews.
Yeah, so his mentor is Jewish, and
Yeah.
most of who he supports and his supporters, like the big names, most of them are Jewish. So
Who?
Nick Fuentes is just a lying.
Well, see that's okay for Pinoy because like as long as you're a winner, as long as you're quote unquote successful, then that's all that matters.
Nah, integrity matters.
I mean, integrity does matter, right? You know what I mean? But again, Nick Fuentes is an Italian, so I just support him as a whole, right? Like I'm on team us.
He's not on our team.
He's not on our
No,
team,
he's an Italian. He's an Italian. He's on my team. So like, I don't care.
No, he's
You
full
can
of shit,
you
man.
can have him.
Yeah, you guys
That's
like
fine,
Drew
man.
Dick.
Well, hold on though. But aren't there a lot of Anglos in Appalachia? So aren't the Anglos on your team too?
I mean, like, listen, the Scotch Irish, fucking Germans, you know what I mean, in Appalachia, and the blacks, fuck, we're fine with them. We don't, like, listen, they're with us.
You say tomato, I say
Trying to find
tomato.
my way back into like this fucking warehouse complex. Yo, they keep building these motherfuckers down here in York. Crazy.
And where?
Yeah, Nick Fuentes, our team, right? Yeah, listen, yo, my mentor was fucking Jewish. Like, bro, like, listen,
Ruh-roh.
you'll understand, like, if you're in like cities, right? Like, fucking, you're going to be around Jews and, you know what I mean, like, fucking Italians and Puerto Ricans and fucking, you know what I mean, this shit. Like, you're not going to be surrounded by Anglos because most of them left. Like, the guys who are going to teach you business, you're not going to learn business from a white person, right? From like a fucking Anglo. They're not going to teach you shit because they don't like you and they see you as a threat. The Jews want to utilize you because, like, they see you as, like, useful.
Yeah,
This is the problem.
To make them rich.
That's why they want to actually get some blackmail control over people, and then they offer you the carrot or the stick. Once they've got some control over you, they can go, okay, if you do what we say, we'll pay you. And if you're like, nah, I'm all good, they go, well, if you don't do what we say, then we'll expose you. So do you want the money or do you want to get screwed over?
Have you ever seen those movies where like some like guy finds like some like some crazy athlete, right, somewhere, and they like take him and they turn him into somebody, right? They fucking make him into like a great athlete, right? And they try to get him into the pros and all that type of stuff, right? That's a Jewish fucking story.
Yeah.
Like they have like
Right.
rules in Judaism about this, right? Like they're like,
but do they show when they like when they want their money back and the guy can't walk and his wife is like high on heroin and like getting pimped out by the producer, and do they show that part?
Well, also, let me say this: Ashkenazi are not Jews; they're Turks. Ashkenazis are Turks. You know, like they barely have any.
I mean,
that's still where the word Nazi comes from. It came from a derogatory term for the Ashkenazi, and they finally turned it around and said that's what National Socialists were. See, the word Nazi already had, like, you know, negative connotations from the Ashkenazi themselves. But, you know, they just wait like 100 years or so, and then they just call someone else a Nazi. Now you're like, oh, those are the Nazis. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're supposed to hate them.
Yeah, Ashkenazi, most of them feel like cursed people to me. I have never really seen much positive from them at all. Really, like there's something wrong with those people. Like
and the Khazarians.
Yeah, they're like Khazarians or whatever. You know, those
Dole.
they're the biggest problem right now. Not the
But
Anglo.
the problem is they brainwash all the other Jews as well.
Yes, exactly. You know exactly what's going on, DK. You're one of the few people that know that. You know what's going on. Yeah,
I'll be right back. I'm at my stop. I'll be back in a minute.
All right.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that's it. That's why, like, saying it's the Jews is actually closer to the truth than most people want to admit, because the Jews have been brainwashed by the Ashkenazi and the Khazarian mafia and shit. since birth.
You want me to tell you something funny? The first National Socialist I met was an Iranian Jew. He told me that the Ashkenazi are the root of all the problems. They're the ones that are conditioning the Mizrahi and the Sephardic to be the way they are. He actually told me that Hitler was 100% right about the Ashkenazis. You know, there are. Yeah, he
and
told me.
all he did, even Netanyahu's admitted this. All Hitler actually did was try and expel the Jews. He didn't actually try and execute them all, as people have been
transfer agreement.
Now, the problem was, it's like they were looking for somewhere to send them, and England was in control of Palestine at the time during the war, like during World War One, and that's why they sold it to the Rothschilds. Like, it was actually the English who sold Palestine to the Rothschilds, which is what the Balfour Declaration is. They just took liberties and just kept expanding the territory instead of staying in the bits that were agreed upon. And now they've got almost all of Palestine. I know, crazy, eh?
Yeah, it's definitely the
Sabbatean
Ashkenazi
Frankism behind that.
Yeah,
here's another crazy side of it, though. It's like, what if Hitler was actually put in that position on purpose to expel the Jews so that they could end up with a land of their own, like Israel?
You've been watching Charles Giuliani or something?
No, I just watch lots of documentaries. Bits and pieces come up all the time. I like when I see different sides of all the stories.
Yeah, I'd lean towards that avenue.
Yeah, well, it's like World War II was what created Israel for them.
Yep.
But then again, it was the Jews that started World War II by owning the media and just pushing for war with Germany, boycotting German products worldwide. Like, honestly, it was like the Jewish-owned media that basically pushed for war in the first place. That it wasn't until Hitler actually went to get the Jews out of Poland or something that war kicked off because he invaded another country. The Polish people apparently liked him, but he was getting the Jews out and shit and trying to fix their economy as well. And yeah, but because he invaded another country, the Jews got shitty and fucking, bad-mouthed him worldwide, obviously paid the right people and started getting war started.
Yeah, when you could do that music stream, TML?
Oh, whenever this ends, pretty much.
Oh, okay. Staring at a clown, basically.
Oh, whoops! This has been up. Yeah, I'm supposed to play this like probably 20 minutes ago. Sorry.
Leave, where you and I may have a slight agreement here about all this. So, what was your view of the Fuentes?
Yeah, I started reading this book. It's called Kabbalah and the Founding of America.
Rubro.
Yeah, I remember that book. Yeah, actually, I wanted to read that. Believe it or not, I came across it on Amazon.
Yeah. I
See
just
if I can
downloaded it.
Yeah,
off of the Anna's archive or whatever. So I just downloaded it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it relates to a lot of the stuff I was reading about the Puritan and the Quakers yesterday. It's like all of it's in this book too, so it's crazy.
Yeah, Puritans have some explaining to do, actually.
Right, they're deeply occultic. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
It's
can I
like,
ask a
holy
quick
shit.
question? That guy on the second, he seems familiar. Is he like that one philosopher guy who's like a liberal? The one?
Yeah,
between
he's the
both?
guy who's always like sucking Andrew Wilson's dick for no reason. Apparently, he just like started making videos, getting hundreds of thousands of views. Like, Andrew Wilson is really smart, and I like him, and he makes me happy.
So a clown.
That guy's been grifting for decades, I think, or years. He's been a big grifter.
Yeah, well, as soon as he started doing Andrew Wilson videos, he blew up, I guess, and then now he's on Piers Morgan, so I guess something's going right for him.
He's in the club of clowns. Useful idiots.
Hey, that's juiceful idiots to you, okay?
Don't be anti-citrus now.
Interview.
Piers, I don't think it's a slight agreement. I think it's a full agreement. First and foremost, I do want to start off by saying I thought the way that you conducted the interview was fantastic. I watched the entire thing, and you I think, were the only interviewer so far to really hold Nick Fuentes accountable and not let him get away with a lot of his hateful views. I love.
Yeah, who the fuck is this? This has to be a J.
A lot of his hateful views. All he needs is a lisp, and he'll.
Now that young dude on the right, Piers has him on quite a bit. He's like fully leftard woke piece of shit. It's almost as if they put him on quite often just so he'll argue with whoever else the guests are. I think he's just like the drama content. He's on quite a bit.
Love how you played the clips side by side and made him defend it on the record. So I want to give props to you there. I thought it was really well done. And I watched the entire thing. And I was trying to decide, similar to you, does Nick Fuentes actually believe these things, or is he doing it for the money? Is it performative? And I might disagree slightly with you. I think it's both. I think he does believe some of these things, and I think some of it's performative. I think when he tried to moderate himself, that's performative. But the more hateful views that, as you mentioned, when the mask kind of slipped, that's what he truly believes. You could tell that he was trying to moderate himself when, as you were talking about with Dr. Phil, talking about the Holocaust. He said, I believe it was the Holocaust, at least 6 million Jews. He said that, but then simultaneously claimed.
So he conceded on the Holocaust question.
That's goofy.
Saying that Hitler is cool and that he liked his uniforms and the music and things like that. So no, I think Nick Fuentes broadly is a sad, insecure man. I think he's a liar. I think he's a grifter.
So basically, Nick Fuentes is bad because he said the same thing as Bobby Fischer like 35 years ago. I mean, this is like the level of the argument against him.
Well, he's not even like going as deep as Bobby Fischer is. He's just saying like Hitler has cool outfits and the Holocaust might have happened.
I think they revised it down to.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying is like this is just like it's so ridiculous because it's like in 2025, does shaming somebody for having a weird belief actually like matter to anybody anymore, other than the fact that
it's like here's the thing,
can't get a job? I mean,
yeah, it's like here's the thing, like Small Mustache Man, he had cool outfits. I have a lot of Jewish friends, and sometimes I support white people. Yeah, that's basically all he does.
Sometimes I support white people.
Yeah. By the way, I'm half Mexican. Yep.
Yep. Right. Exactly. But it's funny because it's like, I mean, look, Nick Fuentes says a lot of edgy humor stuff, but it's like his political positions that like aren't really that notable, other than the fact that like they get promoted by the people that hate him so much. So it's kind of like, why does he keep getting promoted when there's plenty of people who actually hold those beliefs who don't get promoted?
He's controlled op, dude. What is that noise?
Yeah, no, he's definitely controlled opposition. That's it. I mean, it's that simple. It's like he's designed to take everyone the way that the real people saying it aren't allowed to even say it.
Caricature at that too.
Yeah, it's trying to actually just cause more divisions. Like, yeah, you need to stand up and fight against all these people that I don't like.
You exposed that in the interview.
Andrew Wilson, what did you think?
Well, I was just watching your previous segment, and I thought that the framing there was a little off. So I've always appreciated coming on the show and you letting me get my viewpoints out. But I do take some issue with your framing. you did bring up the guy's dad and you said his name.
Yeah.
And when you said it on the air that way, this is a person who has had people attempt to assassinate him. They have come to his house, shown up at his door, and tried to kill him. And that's on video happening. And so when you say that, when you said the guy's name and then try to tie it into racism, I know that you know this, Piers, but the left broadly will do these harassment campaigns. These harassment campaigns are designed specifically to incite the violence of many of their mentally ill followers.
Andrew, let me just say,
that's what they do.
Yeah, let me just say, if I.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, but
violence. Yeah,
but it's like
violence.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, like I know full well like some of the things I say are gonna incite hatred and people are gonna like want to kill me for it. So like I'm not gonna go and cry about it.
Same. I've already had death threats and a hit put on me.
Right? Like what's
serious? A 30,000 pound UK hit got put on me a few years ago.
Dang, bro.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, yeah. I'm not new to hate either. Like I've experienced it myself.
Yeah, but look, you say stuff about, Mexicans, black people, and if you encounter one of them, they don't like that very much. I mean, you might have to deal with that, and there might not be that many police around, and you might have to protect yourself, or your friends might have to protect you. I don't see any problem with that.
Yeah, no,
that's the real world.
Yeah, real world consequences is one thing, but then again, I just abuse anyone who's stupid. Really, to be honest, it's like stupidity is the thing that I hate the most. No matter what color you are, stupid is the worst thing. If you're an idiot, right, please just like stupidity makes me break out in a case of fuck off, basically.
If I had my time again, I wouldn't have said his father's name, but I would have still told the anecdote because I thought it was really important to Nick Fuentes.
The anecdote's not the relevant part.
But the anecdote is relevant.
Yeah.
The anecdote is relevant when he immediately tried to attack me for ambushing him with a story that he told himself on his show. I mean, look, if I told a story like that...
that's not what people are upset about.
No, I understand.
They weren't upset about the anecdote. They were upset that you specifically said the guy's name after Fuentes has had these assassination attempts on him.
To be clear, if I had my time again, wouldn't have said his father's name, notwithstanding the fact you can find it in 2 seconds on the internet. Right? So it's not like it's not difficult to find. But I do think it's important that anecdote, to me, was potentially very relevant to why Nick Fuentes is the way he is about racism, for example, because he was telling a story that cannot be construed, Andrew, any other way than his father was directing them away from restaurants because of his racist views about the people that go in them or run them. And it couldn't be seen any other way.
I get that. I get the point of.
I mean, whose dad hasn't told him shit like that? This is like the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Right? Who's gonna hold somebody accountable for something their dad said? I mean, right? It's like dads always say shit like don't go over there. That shop's ran by like Armenians or whatever the fuck it is. Like it's not a big deal, dude. Like, right? Like
it's like Serge Tankian pops out of that store. It's like, hey.
Yeah, and I'm not saying my dad said that, but I'm just saying like. For example, Armenians, or any other group, it was Turkish people over there, like Arabs over there, like whatever. I mean, right? You're fine to associate with if there's people who run a business a certain sort of a way, give preferential treatment to certain people. You're fine not to associate with that business. You're not racist for that. I understand it. And certainly not if like somebody's dad says that. I want to say like, oh yeah, their dad's racist. That's kind of short-sighted, I would say.
Bringing the anecdote up, but that wasn't what looked to me like what was making these guys so angry. Was not the anecdote itself, but the fact that you said the guy's name, referenced it as his dad. And then this guy's had assassination attempts.
Yeah, but the story was him telling the story.
By the way, hang on. And a lot of the first assassination attempt happened because of the "Your Body, My Choice" thing that he put that tweet out, and people began doxing his address and his family's name. and that's why they showed up to kill him. So the guy's grievance there, I think, is legitimate.
Yeah, but I think it's important that his grievance wasn't just that I named his father, which again is a matter of public record. You can find it anywhere. Although I wouldn't have said it if I had my time again, because I don't want to attack his family for the sake of attacking his family. It was when he tried to frame it as an unfair attack on his family, when I think actually the story that he himself put in the public domain was potentially very relevant to why he is the way he is. I as a journalist,
well, how he was framing it was you're bringing this up and name doxing specifically so that you can rally people into a harassment camp.
Well, what is the point now? Like,
they've been just looping like 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah, like okay, like Fuentes' dad racist, therefore like abortion meme wrong. Like I don't understand. Like right? Like, and that caused people to threaten Nick Fuentes and his family. So don't call him a racist. Like I don't understand, dude, right? Like what? When he openly admits, like, yeah, I don't understand, dude. It's like, what is the discussion being had?
These people don't have much interesting content
Well,
or important content to
Well, what's interesting about this conversation is like it's very reminiscent of the whole Raging Tomato thing, where Raging Tomato saying like, you knew what was going to happen when you came at me, and he's like, hey, I don't hold any responsibility. Like, if I just happen to be streaming and say bad things about you, like, people are going to get mad and they're going to go do things. It's not that I'm directing them. So again, it's not exactly one-to-one, but it is a very similar accusation that Andrew Wilson like deflected from him. Like, hey, look, I mean, I'm not responsible if anybody else wants to go do something. Like, I have a platform. It doesn't mean that I'm like responsible for the actions of anybody else. There's like he said something to the effect of like, that's borderline slanderous for someone to implicate me for something that somebody else does or whatever. It's like, see what I mean? It's like, it's just a very weird like these people like don't really seem to remember like the things that they say from day to day in and out. Like, like again, like, yes, saying somebody's name is bad, but it's also like even just bringing up his dad could have been, and accusing his dad of radicalizing him or whatever can also be a risk, right? Or just even putting that in people's heads, right? So it's like, I guess it's like, well, what level you want to take it, I guess. Sorry. Go ahead, guys.
It's like someone saying, oh, you should get doxxed and swatted.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that he's responsible if it happens like the next day or something, of course.
Satcham bomb.
Yeah, no, it's inciting it.
Campaign. That's how he saw it.
No, but that wasn't. Okay, but just to be clear again, that was not my intention. My intention was to ask him, in all sincerity, if you grow up in an environment at home where there is clear racism that you have discussed yourself on your own show, very like unarguably, you can't listen to the clip. I played it earlier without realizing that's what he's saying. Then is that relevant to the way he is? We bring in Mark Lamont Hill here. I mean, Mark, I didn't do that lightly. I had decided before I did the interview that I would do a lot of research into this. I would find all the clips that I felt were the most incendiary things he'd said on the record, and I would ask him and push him about them in a way that I don't think anyone else has really done. And it would be interesting to see the way he responded. And if you're going to talk to Nick Fuentes, who openly admits to being a racist, he did it again with me in the show, that anecdote to me was pertinent to why he may have shaped those views. What do you think? Was it unfair?
Everyone's gearing up for the holidays.
Interesting.
I think the anecdote was entirely fair and necessary, particularly since, the first part of the interview was very much about his biography. It was very much about what shaped him. He himself volunteered information, even in that interview, about his parents, about how they came together, about, the loss of their fathers, etc. All that to me is fair game. I agree that invoking his father's name in that moment was too far. I hear you saying if you could do it again, you wouldn't. Because I do have some ethical and moral reservations about doxing. I don't think it's wrong, for example, if someone does something awful in public and it's relevant to the public interest to track down their job and notify their job. But that's not the same thing as tracking down every private citizen just because we think they're racist or sexist or anti-Semitic or homophobic. I may think you're that thing, but you have a right to be that thing, even though I think it's awful. And I don't think you should live without safety because of that. Now, there's a bigger question, Piers, that you raised at the top of the interview, and it's come up again in the media, and that is, should you even be talking to this guy?
Right.
And I got to be honest with you, Piers, I've struggled with this. I interview controversial people. I sit down with people who people say don't platform them. And I take seriously your point that they already have a platform. And I'm not making them big. I'm not drawing attention to them. They already have the attention. They're just not being questioned or challenged.
Yeah, that's like a really dumb woke cancel culture type statement. He already said like going and attacking people at their jobs is different from attacking every private citizen. No, it's not. It's exactly the same thing. Like, what bullshit? Going after their jobs is attacking that person. So he's already got himself like completely twisted around about that. And I go out of my way to talk to different people. I'm trying to get on some Jewish show on Rumble at the moment. Apparently the guy's away for a week. I think he said he comes back on the 16th or something. So I'm actually trying to get on a Jewish panel show as well. See, I don't have a problem with talking to different people. If it happens, I'll let you know. I'll put it on your Discord or something. Then someone's Neuros, TMLs.
Right, but it's like, all of these so-called cancel culture like shows or whatever, like they never like really mentioned the ADL, and then Fuentes is able to get on all these big shows. You know what I mean? So
yeah, as I said, it's because his mentor's Jewish, and a lot of his followers and supporters are Jewish. He's fully controlled up.
Yeah, I was having this idea recently. I wonder what you think about DK. Do you think it's possible, like Palantir and all of them, they want to like monopolize data inside Israel? Like Israel, like Temple Mount will host a lot of data servers, and those data servers will monopolize the data around the world. Like if you look at AWS and Azure,
that's definitely a worry, especially once they implement digital ID, CBDC, and social credit scores. Because if one company run from Israel is controlling everything, that means you're probably just going to end up with Noahide laws.
I don't think they want to put us in pods. I think they want to do something like Internet of Bodies. You see what I mean? Like they want to interface us to the cloud, basically. You see what I'm saying?
Definitely. That is because they're actually going to be able to read your thoughts and everything. That's how they'll collect their data for their social credit scores. That's why they want to get devices either as close to your body as they can or in your body. There's some idiots out there that are already getting chips and shit because it's an easier way of paying. But most people already carry around their phone or have smartwatches. It's already attached to most people. Most people are already doing their job for them. They just don't even realize it. My phone almost never leaves the house. Might as well be a landline. Pretty much only use it when I need maps.
Yeah, I have a question for TML. You know about the spotless red heifer that the Jews are obsessed about sacrificing. I mean, I heard that the Kafing Jews or something, the ones that are like patrilineal, they already sacrificed it. But I think the Jews in Israel are waiting to sacrifice it, and then they want to go to the Temple Mount, and I think there's a mosque there. They want to tear down that mosque and put a synagogue. Am I correct? Based on what I remember. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they bought two red heifers from somewhere in America. Might have been Texas or Arizona or something. They bought two totally red heifers. That needs to be like on a certain day of the year or something. But they can't have any other colored hair.
Yeah.
A single white hair means they're not pure. So they're
Yeah.
they're just waiting. So I think they bought 2. I got a funny feeling I heard that they've already got rid of one because like a white hair was found or something. So they might be down to their last chance for now, or they might have lost both and be looking for more. I'm unsure on that part.
They're literally trying to genetically engineer a red heifer when I read about genetic engineering.
Yeah, but what they need is to do sacrifices in the temple with the high priest. I mean, this is because a certain sect of the Jews believe that that Jerusalem is the center of the world, and when they do sacrifices in the temple in Jerusalem, then it will cause certain power. For the Jews to be restored.
Yeah, right. And for the Messiah to turn up as well or something. It's one of the signs or something that needs to happen before the Messiah turns up.
Right. So this is the thing. They think that Judaism isn't really fulfilled until they A, move back to Jerusalem, and B, do sacrifices in the temple with the high priest. Right. So
yeah, they have to actually sacrifice 6 million. The word Holocaust is fiery sacrifice.
I think they want to do 6 billion.
They have to sacrifice 6 million before their Messiah returns. Not kidding you.
What about 6 billion? Because
what?
Seems like they want because of the Georgia Guidestone. You know about the Georgia
Guidestone. I mean for their Messiah to return.
LARP.
Yeah, no, they have to sacrifice 6 million for their Messiah to return, and they have to have sacrifice the red, like perfectly pure red heifer. I'm sure there's a couple of other things as well, but yeah, there's a few things that they need before the Messiah returns. I try to look into
Does Andrew Wilson talk about any of this stuff or even mention it? I'm just curious.
No.
Yeah, so then he's bullshit, like he doesn't talk about the dangers of technological complexity growing with, the biodigital convergence or with the, biodigital identification. He doesn't talk about the fucking Jays and the,
he said it's Christians who created technological advancement. So the Muslims, they basically need the Christians for their survival.
Yeah, that's very cuckish. He's basically telling us to be cucks, basically, and like
that's the same with the Jewish though. The Jews need us for their survival. At least so far.
That's right. Be good little goyams.
Damn right.
They're just parasites. They're like when I think about it, they they're like archons manifested in some sense. You know what I mean? The way they behave and the way they look and stuff. With their ugly looking nose, they're
I got that meme that you sent me.
Yeah.
On that platform, I concede that point. I agree with you fully. The problem with this guy, the problem with Nick Fuentes in particular, though, to me, is he's such a chameleon, and he moves in such a way that I'm not sure holding him accountable matters to his base. And he does just enough to look moderate and normal and reasonable that I think he'll do more damage by sneaking some people from the middle and dragging them to his side because they think he's reasonable and only later find out that he's a sexist, misogynist, Hitler-loving Nazi, right? Or whatever he is, right? That's where the danger comes for me. I'm not saying we should interview controversial people. I'm just saying this particular guy, I feel like we're playing into his interests and his angle.
Yeah,
I think the real danger is that they're making Nick Fuentes sound like likable. NPC, come up if you like, man. You're always welcome here.
Well, the leftists were supporting him, and Marjorie Taylor Greene on NPR today. So this is quite a shift. All right. So they're saying is that he's successfully critiqued Trump. So they said that about Fuentes and Marjorie Taylor Greene. They said that it shows signs that the Trump administration is incredibly weak because they've chosen these dissidents that now have turned on them.
Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene got caught out on Ben Shapiro's show. The only time I actually caught a live show, Marjorie Taylor Greene was on it. And there was people in chat asking ask her about her shares in Johnson & Johnson. Finally, someone actually super chatted it, so we did actually ask it. Yeah, someone actually had to pay to get him to actually ask her the question. It's like $5 or some shit, but someone actually had to pay to get him to ask. And so he asked her, it's like, okay, in chat, like, people want to know about the shares that you had in Johnson & Johnson. This was when she was anti-vaccine and everything, by the way. Because this was a couple of years back at least. She's fully anti-vaccine and had shares in Johnson & Johnson. Some reporters found it out. She's like, I've got like a shares manager or whatever. Like, you know,
yeah, that's something I like had this graphic on my show yesterday. You know, that showed this shit. Here, hold on, let me see this.
But yeah, so her excuse was like, yeah, I've just got a stockbroker. That's the name I was looking for. She's like, I've got a stockbroker. It's like, I don't even know what I've got stocks in. And when the reporters turned up at my house asking me, I didn't even know. I had to get a hold of him and find out if I did actually have shares in Johnson & Johnson. She's like, it turns out I did. I was like, but Johnson & Johnson also does some really other good things. And started shilling for Johnson & Johnson on Shakira. I haven't trusted her since then, like at all. Since I saw that, and I saw that live, since I saw that, I have not trusted her at all. She got caught out big time and started shilling for one of the companies she was supposedly against while making money from them. Fucking mental.
Yeah, I'll try to find this graphic for you guys.
All good. That was the end of my Marjorie Taylor Greene story. Although with Trump calling her Marjorie Traitor Greene, it's kind of weird. Just because she said don't send money to Israel or some shit.
Yeah, here it is.
Files. Can I enlarge that?
No, but what it says is Johnson & Johnson, General Dynamics, Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, you know, and all these different things, including Council for National Policy, CIA, a bunch of other stuff that they talk about.
Can you post that on the Discord? Because I actually remember looking into stuff like this. Joe Lieberman, I remember him.
The colors,
Lieberman, yeah.
The colors represent how much they are invested with those people or how much they get from them. See how it's got the colors around each face?
Yeah, it's like two of them are linked directly to Johnson & Johnson and the other organizations, and then the other ones are just sort of you know, but yeah, all these people are linked to those organizations, right?
I think the black means it's all of them are linked to all those ones at the top, but the colors around their faces represent the 6 at the bottom.
Yeah, this whole thing is about these guys. Is about how the QAnon is linked to these groups, like, you know, like True News and all these people, General Vallely and all this shit. I put all this. This was actually from Expose the Enemy. So I've played this tons of times, but yeah.
Okay. Well, because I've got pretty much rule number 1 when it comes to that sort of shit. Anyway, it's like if they're rich and being promoted, they're not telling you the truth. Lying pays. The truth doesn't pay.
Oh, whoops! I lost my place on this video. Oh wait, no, this isn't the one I had. Oh yeah, here it is. Whoops.
Your show. What's your view about that issue about platforming him at all?
Oh, I didn't even consider it to be a difficult question at all. I mean, if you're going to have people on who are responsible for the invasion and destruction of Iraq based on lies, or the incineration of Vietnam, or the destruction of Gaza and the deaths of tens of thousands of people, and welcome them and treat them like respectable people, Tell me what it is that Nick Fuentes has done remotely as bad as that justifies allowing them to come on and speak, but not him. And whether you like it or not, he does speak for a huge number of people in his generation and even other generations as well, who feel the same kind of anger and frustration with the status quo, with the establishment, with the kind of dogma that we've been told we have to accept. And there's a lot of people who are angry about it and who rebel against it. And we saw this with Donald Trump on maybe a little bit of a smaller scale, but very much the same pattern. When Donald Trump appeared, everybody was like, oh, he's racist and fascist and he's the misogynist and he's this and that. And no one wanted to grapple with the reason why his message was resonating so much. And to me, it is very similar to Nick Fuentes. Say what you want about him. He's extremely smart, an incredibly talented communicator, and very well read. Like, he's very informed. He's not just some sensationalist babbling on the internet. And I think the reason he has attracted a lot of attention is because he's speaking to the anger and frustration, a lot of which is valid, of a lot of people. And to stick your head in the sand and say, oh, we're going to pretend that this isn't happening because his views are too off, but the people who start wars or are responsible for the 2008 financial crisis, these are respectable people who we treat with.
Yeah, but like, he supported those people.
And he's supported by them.
Right. So I don't know what this guy's not getting. And this
he probably doesn't know. See?
No. This is this guy, Glenn Greenwald. You know this guy, right?
I don't actually know him.
Yeah, this is the guy who made the documentary with Snowden, Edward Snowden or whatever.
Okay. Well, what I mean is, like, it sounds like most of them are just going through, like, a couple of Fuentes vids, and that's all their information on him, if you know what I mean. They're like, none of them may even know that he's supported by the Jews, because he definitely doesn't act like he is. So they might not even realize that he's just a controlled op in the first place. Because I haven't heard any of them say that. They're all just talking about whether they like or hate him.
Right, or why other people should like or hate him.
Yeah.
You know, which are all bad reasons, really.
Yeah, exactly. As I mean, it's like they're not putting the full picture out there. It's just a left or right-sided argument. That's it. There's no actual room for discussion if you either like him or you hate him, and there's no ground that you can actually meet on in the middle.
With respect, like Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton or whoever, that to me is the kind of thing that I think is really distorted.
Yeah, you know, Warren Smith. I'll bring
respond to that.
Well, no, let me bring in Warren Smith first, and then I'll come back to you, Mark. You know, Warren, that really is my feeling about it. Is that you can let these guys like Fuentes and Andrew Tate
let me say something.
run riot, and
yeah, I think Ingmar Bergman could have been a Jew when I think about it more, because like we were talking about him before. In that film, Fanny and Alexander, the uncut version. I watched Fanny and Alexander. There's a scene in that movie. That whole movie felt like Kabbalah black magic. And when I think about it, I think Ingmar Bergman could have been a crypto Jew, and he was trying to emasculate or make the Swedish people feel like there's no inmost light, or there's no greater meaning in life. Because if you watch Fanny and Alexander, you kind of get, because in that film, there is a weird Jew in the cellar, and he's like a transsexual, okay? And he's also into the Kabbalah. And he's like fucking doing black magic during a scene with the kid, and he's putting fire onto the priest. You know what I mean? And they're trying to portray the priest, who's a white man, as being all evil and stuff like that. But when I think about it, that Jew and the Jews, they're the ones that feel the most evil to me. In that film, Fanny and Alexander. But no one ever talked about that. No one ever analyzed the film that way.
So are you saying they used a white man as a scapegoat?
Yes, they did. And that, and no one ever fucking talked about that. And like the only person, I think I am the only person.
I mean, you don't have to. I mean, just about every single movie or video game tells me that the white man is the bad guy and the supervillain.
Yeah, but something about that movie, Fanny and Alexander, the uncut version. Something about that definitely felt evil towards the white man, towards me, to me at least. You know what I mean? Like,
there's honestly, there's lots that are like that. Like, there's so many movies now that it's always the white guy that's the bad guy. Every single time. And they're still calling every other race a minority when the white man is actually the minority on the planet.
That's right, and you need a transgendered woman named America to come and save you from the multiverse.
I'll try and do what I can from here.
I'll go on a limb here. I want to talk a little bit. You know, most of the Ashkenazi.
By the way, apparently, let me just check back through my chat. Trump just pardoned Tina Peters, the election chick that was jailed for exposing election fraud. The 2020 election ain't over. And the other bit that I know about that is like he wants to prove Biden is illegitimate, and also all the EOs signed by AutoPen and shit as well, which pretty much scrubs everything Biden did during his 4 years. It's going to start rewriting a lot of your laws and shit. Anyway, sorry, I digress.
Yeah. Let me say that. Do you think that Jays, they tend to be more nihilistic than, the Ashkenazi? They tend to be kind of nihilistic, from what I've said. They tend to be very nihilistic. Like I used to be a part of, community, literature forum. Almost every Ashkenazi I ever encountered was a nihilist. You believe that? And it's really does anyone else notice that, or is it just me? Like I just noticed most of them are nihilists.
Well, that's in their Talmud.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, to be honest, there's a few religions around the world that say basically kill anyone who isn't of that religion. See, I'm not trying to be a dick, but there's a few religions that say that. I'm not even going to start naming them, but there's a few.
Yeah, I mean,
If
it's
you
like
if you go back to the original text and shit, there's
yeah, but here's the thing: is like if you go through history, right? You can't just go through a text and apply it to a bunch of people. All right. So this is the thing: is like
I'm meaning there's been lots of religions that basically say kill anyone who isn't of your
right.
religion.
Now is there a bunch of people religious people?
I'm not saying they're all doing it. I don't see it on a daily basis.
No, but here's the thing: it's not religions that are in charge. So it's stupid to say like religions are causing people to kill people.
The religious ideals behind it through history.
Yeah, but that's not what's causing people to kill people. It's politics mostly, and it's because people are poor and shit.
But they use religion to rally everyone behind their politics.
Right, that's different. That's a whole different thing. But it's
but they use the religion to do it. They say it's a religious thing when really, like, the people behind it, they know it's just politics.
Right, and you could use the same religion. Right, and you could use the same religion to justify. Right, but you could use the same religion to justify thousands of things, and B, it's not in charge, so it's inconsequential to what the goal is. The end goal is political.
Catholicism did it as well. That's what I mean. I'm not getting at your religion.
It's not. It's not about Catholicism or Islam. The thing is that Catholics and Muslims are not in charge. It's not the religions that are going around killing people. By and large, like that's part of an ideological, historical thing, right? Like Catholics and Muslims, they also housed a bunch of people too, like of different religions and stuff. If they went around killing everybody that wasn't their religion, then there'd be a lot less people in the world.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's constantly an ongoing.
No, it's just a constant bashing of religion when science has the true power in the world, and like that's what I detest. It's science. It's scientists, atheists. They're in charge.
The worship of science is just another religion as well.
Yeah, but you don't include that when you say the religions call for violence. That's the problem, right?
Yeah,
You don't say.
And if we want to be realistic, a lot of the deaths here in the last 100 years hasn't really been because of religion. It's been like of major world wars or semi-small wars. So not all of it's been about religion.
Right.
Medical malpractice.
Well, it's been about establishing a technological like a state. Right? Like that's what fascism and communism are about. You know, they're and also capitalism, right? Hyper-capitalism, right? Fascism, they're about the state taking control of technology. Like that's what it's all about, right? So that's the objective factor of power. It has nothing to do with religion. Religions are used to coax people into ideological prisms that don't function, based on those religious understandings. But on the whole, are people going around killing people because some religion told them to say so? No, that's not what's going on.
I think there are some idiots doing it at the moment.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Like, for example, like Israel.
DK. There's always been extremists. There's far a few, but I can tell you from a majority of Muslims I've met, 1%. They don't want to go and strap a bomb on their chest and go say Allah Akbar. You know, they don't do it.
Or Catholics are not killing Jews and saying they're going to like take over the world, right? Like they're not doing that. They used to be doing some of that. Right, but they're not doing that today. All right, so this is the point.
That's when it shifted to like Judeo-Christianity.
Yeah, let me say one thing though. Let me say two things.
Rather than being Christian. Yeah, go. Sorry, man.
Okay, I say two things. First is that the growing technological industrial complexity is the biggest problem. You know, I would agree with that because we're living in ways we never before. We're decoupled from food production. We're dealing with unsustainable overcrowding issues. That's the first issue. The second thing I want to say is Israel is not secular. I don't see how they're secular. They're actually genocidal, and they're very they're like freaking like ethno-nationalists.
Like we just said, before we said the Jews and the Arabs and the Russians and the fucking the Americans, they're all fucking working together.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
So it's like, who's to blame for that? They definitely don't have religious differences. So who the fuck are we kidding?
Yeah, it's just like Hitman says. How can all these people claim to hate so much each other religiously or culturally in real life, but they're okay with getting together and making games about killing each other? I mean, make it make sense.
But let me just say this though: if we, just hypothetically speaking, if the Jays were to disappear, vanish, I think that would be better for everyone. I mean, really, because they're causing too much problems. Like the Ashkenazi, and I'm just speaking, hypothetically and honestly. I'm not condoning violence, but the Jays are really disproportionately involved in too much. I mean, when you see them backing Mao and you see them involved in Bolshevism and you see them, manipulating everything, it's like you see a Jay everywhere.
Well, when you're good with shekels, you learn how to move them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, I say they're like a very big problem, the Ashkenazi. Yeah. So, not the Anglos, the Ashkenazi. So yeah. And the third problem I would say is lack of transparency. You have to dig very deep to try to find the truth nowadays. I mean, like you keep hiding shit everywhere. Like really, like where's the transparency? I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a big problem. Like you have to dig. You have to dig deep to try to find the truth. And
I can tell you, it's called no such thing.
Well, I do think there's a truth that we're dealing with a lot of shit that we've never dealt with before. I can tell you that's definitely true. I mean, like that I know for sure. I mean, that this is unprecedented shit. I mean, this is like
the thing is like, now we've got to deal with AI and everything as well. I mean, is that the next religion? Is that going to be the one world religion? Worship AI?
Yeah, just new problems keep popping up. I mean, actually, they're like literally fusing biology with machines now and other crap like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's messed up as, like really.
Yeah. It's like H.R. Geiger painting. You ever look at H.R. Geiger's paintings?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. Yeah. One of my exes had one of his pictures on the wall.
That's right. We love penis morphs.
Huh?
And they do already, and they have massive followings, millions and millions of young men. I know, and in one interview, Tate, the number of young men who just come up to me in the street to ask about it is off the charts, more than almost any other guest I ever have. So we can either pretend this phenomenon isn't happening, and Fuentes is a phenomenon, whether people like it or not. And I don't hate everything about him. There were elements of that interview where it was a genuinely quite interesting conversation. But there were elements which, either because he wanted to be performative and shocking and attention-seeking, whatever it may be, or because he really believes it, where I felt we saw a pretty dark underbelly of some of his beliefs. You know, I mean, just when somebody just says, I am a racist, and then explains, yeah, well, let me play the clip first, then come to you. You're fine with saying you're a racist?
Totally. I think everybody's racist. I think everybody, if we're being honest, is racist. I think everybody, the only people that aren't racist or pretend not to be are white people to their detriment. Everybody else is racist.
But earlier in the interview, you got aggrieved at the idea that your father was a racist. You wanted to make emphatically
because
sure
my father's
he's not.
Because my father doesn't share my same views on that.
Yeah, go ahead, guys. I'm sure you guys want to comment on that. But yeah, I'm gonna go walk outside for a second. Give me a second. Blessings.
I mean, I guess I can say he's not wrong. I mean, not speaking from personal experience, but it does seem like a majority of people are racist, even those who claim they aren't. I mean, even someone like me, I mean, I've had problems with races here and there, but I mean, I can tell you I've had problems with my own race as much as I have any others. So
yeah, let me tell you this. I have this. I shouldn't really tell you this because this is personal life details, but I will not tell you his name. I have this friend. You know, he's very smart, but he's kind of messed up. You know, I won't tell you his name. He lives in rural Arkansas, and he was in a relationship with a transsexual Jew. You believe that? Yeah.
That's saucy. Spin that dreidel.
Yeah, like what the hell? Yeah, and that transsexual Jew he was in a relationship with. I'm gonna say he because a man cannot become a woman. Right. Yeah, I'm not done yet. He kept saying genocidal stuff about white people. Like he kept saying, "Oh, I want to kill them whitey," or the whiteys are putting the black people down. Stuff like that, like so genocidal crap. Like it's crazy. I'm like, why are you bothering with this transsexual Jew? Man, can't you just grow up or like not do that?
No, Avian, I have assumed that a majority of people who exist don't have the mental capacity to like most people aren't real people. And I don't mean that like they're demons. I mean, just like there's something naturally wrong with a majority of people.
Yeah, maybe. But, my friend, though, he's pretty smart, but, like, it's just he is weird. Yeah, like that's all I will say. He's weird, but I still have like honorable friendship with him. I mean, it's not really something. I can be friends with someone and not approve of what they do or like think what they're doing is weird.
As long as they send you a list.
Yes, you have to send me the list. You have to send the list. That's one thing about me that I'm serious about, the list. You know what I mean? Yeah, we don't have to talk about that here. You know what I mean? But everyone has something that's important to them. The list is important to me in that regard. Yes, he did send me the list. Yes, and I have read a lot of stuff he's given and movies he's suggested, stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, that's the thing I just wanted to say. Yeah.
Matt. So he's the exception to the everyone's a racist.
Here's a simple question.
Everyone but the Orientals.
Grapes. What do you do?
Well, everybody's a little bit racist.
I mean, I thought it was an interesting contradiction there, which he was probably calculating in real time, that having got so exercised about the idea that his father was racist, he then said everyone's racist and there's nothing wrong with it, effectively. But putting that to one side, Warren.
It's also like kind of like saying I'm not. It's a unique sort of cop out. You're not actually admitting that you.
Virtue signal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it seemed like It's like he needed an out, so it's like, yeah, well, everybody is. Well, if everyone is, then no one is. You see what I mean? Like, it's kind of weird.
So honestly, I just went and grabbed a beer, but as I was walking down the stairs, sorry to go back a little bit, but you were mentioning about how like someone was mentioning about how people aren't real people anymore, and I think I said this on your show, TML. It's like because most people lack that internal monologue, and I think someone else mentioned that they can't even form mental pictures, so they're basically just walking around in a state of no conscience. No idea, just like one train thought, one track thought sort of thing. Just whatever they've been programmed to do.
Well, not just that, but just like the lack of self-control, like how easy it is to get someone to go out there, like, and riot when George Floyd dies compared to someone like me who's like, I would never participate in a riot because I know it's fruitless, just like standing out there in the street with a sign saying, save the children. So, I'm just saying that
I go out and record at protests. The last one I went to was about what was it? Gene tech, like genetically modifying the food and stuff. That was only about 3-4 weeks ago. That's actually on my YouTube channel. Yeah,
I'm saying add a billion other things into that. How many people really do have mental health issues, how many people are doing drugs, how many people are influenced by something else other than an ideology or something on the television.
About that. And I'm going to tell you that, and it's about my friend again. You see, a lot of problems stem from issues with the mother or father. That's definitely true. And he had serious issues with his dad. His dad was abusive. He would beat him, take out his belt and beat him, including his mother too. And they got divorced and stuff. And stuff like that really messed you up psychologically. And that's why my friend got messed up. I was actually in a more stable family, so I'm not as messed up, So, both my mom and dad are honorable,
Well,
so,
even something as far as that, Ted Bundy claimed that his parents were like the perfect Christian home, and he still grew up to be, what he grew up to be. So, it comes down to that, like, you can have the most perfect upbringing and still turn out to be, a psycho, serial killer. So I guess what is your sense of reality? There you go. What's your sense of reality? What do you see as real?
Well, maybe Ted Bundy was backed by, like handlers or by CIA. You ever heard of that book, Programmed to Kill?
Yeah.
The point is what I'm saying is if there's billions of people walking around this planet, probably more than half of them are dealing with an actual alleged mental health or some type of psychosis or demons.
I see what you mean. Yes. Yeah, I guess so.
A majority of people would not participate in anything that really goes on in the world other than having a standard job, having a family, and doing daily tasks.
Yeah, but the thing is, this world is ruled by the people who are even worse than that. So that's the thing.
Well, I would agree. They're the biggest fucking mental patients of them all, but somehow they're able to run the asylum. So
they just create the illusion of
That's right. That's right. Just like David Icke said, you don't have to be in the bars and touch it for it to be real.
Yeah, you've created the prison in your own mind, or rather, they've created the prison for you in your own mind.
On top of the fact, did you enter the prison not just on top of your own free will, but are you not, are you on there on the accordance of your own free will? Are you not, mentally challenged or Down syndrome? So,
yeah,
wouldn't mankind be better if all of us had Down syndrome? Though, think about it. What if everyone had Down syndrome?
I guess you could. That would give us plenty of leeway to say we can't really be held liable for our actions. But I've met some pretty violent, mentally challenged people, so I don't know.
People with Down syndrome tend to be very kind. Have you looked at them? That's what I've seen. People with Down syndrome are very kind. From what I've seen. Maybe.
Sorry, that must be that new Tylenol rage stuff they've been putting in there. Thanks, Trump.
And probably hormone blockers.
Just saying, there's a lot of autistic kids, and from a lot of the ones in the communities that I know of, a lot of the kids are violent. And it's funny how they're all in the same age range. So
that comes down to just one thing that we're not allowed to talk about on here.
that's right. It's one big fucking LARP, and it affects us at every single point of our lives, whether you want to participate in it or not. Just like, you know, nothing that these people on the screen say really play anything to do in my life, but it plays a life in, you know, whoever consumes the content, or, you know, can't look at it as literally a LARP. But, you know, that's the biggest problem, is that people, when they sit down and watch this, they think these people are really there to have an actual conversation and to, like, what? Waken the masses to what? Bad white man, good black man. I mean, it's just so gay.
Yeah. Tell you what, though, I just wish there was more viewers, because this conversation's been interesting as fuck. Maybe someone, or maybe people should just post it around more as well. Like, post it around, say we're still live, because this has actually been really fucking interesting, and we've covered a lot of different topics in a short space of time.
That's how we do it.
Good on you guys.
And I mean, you know, this issue of whether you platform somebody like Fuentes, who has these inflammatory views, I think we can all agree they're inflammatory, a lot of his views. You know, am I by doing
inflammatory.
Am I continuing to fuel this phenomenon in a way that is a negative for society? Or in a free democratic society, you know, should I be entitled to interview who the hell I like, as long as I do my job as a journalist of holding him to account over these things, let other people work it out for themselves?
No, I think it's totally understandable. And I agree that you would have him on. I was in the same position where I was genuinely shocked when I made a knee-jerk response video to something he had said. I was overwhelmed by the response. I was like, I had no idea there were this many people out there that agreed with him. And I had people that I knew actually telling me, no, you're oversimplifying this. And I actually went back and looked at the same clip and realized I had oversimplified it. There was actually, I was looking at it through the narrative, going into it without much prior research. And that actually led to me sitting down with him for an hour and a half. And I think it's important, though, if you want to achieve the ideal outcome, it is important to actually genuinely be trying to gain a better understanding of his reasoning and in his arguments, and not just trying to win or embarrass, because in the long run, I think that will backfire and that will cause him to become bigger.
Yeah, that's
what? Like, is it just me, or did I just not hear anything he said?
I mean, I kind of get what he's saying. He's basically saying, like, you know, if you offend one of his fan base, or if you offend him, you'll offend them all, you know, which, I mean, I have seen that kind of mentality for certain streamers, whatever, like, if, you know, one person pisses off the person that, you know, he'll say one thing about that person in the chat, and they'll all attack that one person, even as far as like real life shit. So
yeah, I've had that happen to me. Didn't make it to the real life shit because it was an American channel. But,
I mean, people are crazy. So
I didn't even attack the streamer. I just had an argument with one of the mods, and next minute, fucking everyone attacked me. I was like, fucking crazy. You know, I was getting banned from everywhere where any of them were a mod on that channel, on any platform that they were a mod on.
Yeah, I've witnessed it.
Yeah?
Yeah, they'll sit right there and bully you. I mean, it's either they'll straight block you if you run your mouth too much, or they'll straight boot you out of the chat. Like, they'll just bully you out of chat. I mean, that's just how it is, though. I mean, these people, once they've built a large following, to an extent, they basically will have no liability once it's gone past a certain extension of, like, you know, if someone
they didn't
like
say to do it.
Yeah,
The
you
mods
know.
doing it. It wasn't me. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to some extent, even people like Nick will have that type of influence.
I've got no culpability. It's like I've given them the rules. They're the ones doing it.
Oh, I had no clue it was happening. How could I have known?
Yeah, one of the gayest echo chambers on the entire internet is Andrew Wilson's Crucible shit. It's literally like you can't dissent with the group. Like, it's total groupthink. It's, you know, it's almost sad. But yeah,
I know that sometimes my channel gets like that. Why do you think I go to other people's channels and try and get on panels and shit? So I know that my stuff is heading that direction. I mean, it's all anti-Jewish, but it's getting a lot of the fucking pro-white boys and shit. It's all right. I don't mind, but I'm open-minded.
Yeah, you get captured by the audience.
Sorry?
I said you get captured by the audience. Then they have expectations. Then you got to perform a certain way every time. Pretty gay.
No, I don't.
You don't like a performing monkey? You don't like having little symbols?
No, I'm still me. But I don't have a problem with white boys, just like I don't have a problem talking with Muslims, just like I'm trying to get on a Jewish show.
Right.
I just know that my personal show, like my channel, has become more of an echo chamber. So especially when I get raided from other channels and shit, something like 40 people will turn up that are all from some white channel. And so suddenly everyone's just typing the N-word and shit constantly through the whole chat. So, oh, well. Honestly, this happens lots. That's crazy. I told you Rumble's going well.
An interesting point. People were asking me, he won, or people said you won. Or I said, look, I didn't seek out to win. I don't seek out ever to win an interview. That's not the point of an interview, actually. What I wanted to do over 2 hours was personally get to know him better, because I know nothing about him other than what I've read. I've never met him. I've never interviewed him. And B, to go over all these things which he's notorious for and actually work out the correct context, what he really believes, what may have motivated this, and so on. And I think a lot of that was achieved in the interview. But it wasn't, I think it very quickly afterwards, when I asked him during the interview, how he felt, and towards the end, how he felt at the gun, he thought I'd been fair. He didn't think I'd ambushed him. And so he made that clear in the interview. And yet afterwards, almost immediately afterwards,
like, what the fuck is this guy saying? He's just zone out when he talks. This Piers Morgan guy. Like,
he's not said much. Like he asked him really disingenuous, like tabloid questions when he had like all these political talking points he could have worked through. It was a really sleazy interview, and I was pretending like the dude might have not been offended by it. Well, who cares if he wasn't offended by it? It was still a shit quality interview that didn't really address any of the issues that this dude brings up. Like this dude's given like tons of tomes about like military intelligence and like libertarian Jews, like that used to be communists, like infiltrating the right wing and shit, and how the right wing conservatives are all like set up as controlled op. Like this is what Nick Fuentes has been talking about recently, and like Trump and Epstein and stuff. I mean, he didn't bring up any of that stuff that the guy talks about. And then Andrew Wilson is like acting like this guy's like his life is in danger because he made an abortion joke because some fat lady like came to his house and then she got like sprayed in the face. It's like, what? I don't know, man. I need more info on this shit because this shit is looking pretty fake and gay.
It is pretty fake and gay, yeah.
It's all fake.
It's hard to listen to them, yeah, because it's like just endlessly, beating around the bush and prolonging it. It's like they're not direct, they're not concise, they don't get straight to the point. You know what I mean? That's the kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, even to these people.
You're still in YouTube chat.
Who?
Svetlana.
Oh yeah, Svetlana, blessings, yeah.
Yeah, I posted the link in my Rumble channel, and Svetlana came over. Davey was there for a while, but he didn't type anything. Yeah. Like Davey Z.
Yeah, Davey's cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to him the other day, yeah. Yeah, or he was in the chat again. And,
cool.
Yeah.
There's one person on your YouTube channel who just kept banning him.
Yeah, they got over it. Yeah, yeah, they're friends now. Yeah, so
okay. Oh, that's
yeah,
good.
they're friends now. Yeah, they got yeah, they recently became friends. So now they work through their differences. So it's cool.
Oh, that's all right then.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just gonna say like maybe make him mod so they can't like keep muting him. That was all. Yeah, if it's not going to happen, if it's not going to happen, it's not a problem.
Yeah, too many people are mods. You know, I got you as a mod. I got everyone as a mod. So
you've got me as a mod, so they don't mute me. I know that.
Yeah, I gotta like wait till I have like a falling out with somebody else, because there's certain people like I'll have a falling out with, and then I'll remove them as a mod, right? And then I'll put somebody else as a mod. So if they stay in the chat, they'll yeah. So if they stay in the chat,
so
you know,
my mod is going to be short-lived. All right.
yeah, if they stay in the chat, they'll be you know, mods for a long time. No, you're still a mod, DK. You know, or whatever.
I know. I said that, yeah, but you said the next time you have a falling out with someone, it's like, okay, so my mod's going to be short-lived.
No, not like argument. Like I'm talking about like
kidding.
real.
Take it as the joke.
Yeah, I'm talking about real falling out. Like I say, like I publicly announced that, you know, someone's banned from the show or something like that, and that I refuse to work with them. That's what I consider a falling out. Like, yeah, like with that Dusty guy, right? Like I used to go on his show, right? Like I'm not gonna go on his show anymore. Like that's a kind of a falling out. Like, it's like, no, I'm not gonna fuck with you anymore. Actually,
yeah, that's right. I still wanted to get you on one of my Rumble shows. You can stream it on YouTube at the same time if you want as well.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, to be honest, you might as well host it like this on StreamYards. And because I actually restream, if I'm on here, like if I'm on panel, I'm generally restreaming it on Rumble anyway.
Yeah, we got like 6 people watching at my alternative channel. So yeah, blessings to those people.
Your alternative channel?
It's Cyber Caliphate.
Ah, fuck. Why didn't that show up as live?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
The only ones that showed up as live was Seditious Glands and Eurojack.
Yeah, that shit might be shadow banned as well. So it is what it is. Dude.
Fuck. Now, usually it shows up if it's live.
Yeah.
Like it has before. Fuck.
Made that clear in the interview. And yet afterwards, almost immediately afterwards, he comes out full bore on the attack, which is what he does. But it was interesting to me that it was the reaction from his sort of mob of groypers was instantaneous and extraordinarily widespread. They just come as this mob. And it's you know, if you're not me, who's got a very thick skin, it's a pretty hard thing to get back at you. Look, I don't care. I've had a lot worse, and they'll move on, and that's what happens. But if you're not, actually, it can be very intimidating. It was very threatening, very racist, very anti-Semitic, very very nasty. Actually, like I said, it didn't it wasn't scrape the surface with me because I got a skin of 1,000 rhinos. But to other people, I could see it really being a pretty terrifying experience.
Hey, Peter, can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
Sorry.
They're doing that. They're doing that too.
Sorry, Glenn go first. Yeah.
Let me interrupt because it's really
hang on, guys. Don't talk at once. Let me start with Glenn.
So tasty, it could make Poseidon switch
Holy
to a
shit.
spoon. Only divine taste from the Greek god.
Yeah, but that whole thing
No, it unsubbed me from Cyber Caliphate. I just had to type it back in again to find it.
Yeah, see, that shit shadow banned. See, when they start unsubbing people, that means you're shadow banned as fuck. It's probably because we had too many like discussions with Neurocrack. Like we had too many shits. Like we had too many public discuss. Like I made a whole series about Zionism and shit. Yeah, that shit's shadow banned as fuck.
Let me tell you something interesting, Timo. I have this friend. He has a YouTube channel. One of his videos had like 700 views on the YouTube. You know, you see it. But then he went to the panel where you can see the actual traffic, and he said it had 10,000 views. And he's like, that doesn't make sense. Why is there such a discrepancy between the traffic logistics and the actual view counts? You see what I mean? Like,
it makes no sense.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah, if I counted like the views, like how many people came in and then left, and then counted all, like I'm like essentially like every time a new person came in and not when they left.
It comes and goes. Yeah. The Rumble does the same, it actually counts it.
Yeah, it should be hundreds.
Let me check what this Rumble stream is currently at. Currently at 247.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
With another half.
This is Buick.
Watching over
Now.
here as well.
Okay, so like so many car commercials here. All right.
Yeah, next time I can share.
Thanks, Mark.
I don't have commercials.
Just don't play the Jaguar car commercial.
Yeah, it's cool. Sometimes the commercials are important. I saw a cool ChatGPT commercial where they were like I forget where I recorded it, but it was an awesome ChatGPT commercial where it was like the ChatGPT was helping like an old farmer, like his daughter, like move back to the farm to use ChatGPT to help him farm, and it was like all about like getting back to the old roots, like with ChatGPT. It was like really like cleverly designed ad, right? Like
that's social engineering. Yeah,
yeah, it was.
messaging,
Yeah, very much social engineering. It was like weird. Like,
definitely, yeah. Yeah, so it's good to advert. You know, one thing I will tell you for sure is I read this article once. I told you this, that is written by a U.S. senator, and you know, prior to economic downturn, they increased subliminal cues in advertisements pertaining to social deviancy, and you know they do that because they want to normalize taboos more in order to prevent the presence from being flooded even more. And he was writing about that, the senator, but I have to find that article again. Yeah, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
So advertisements are like the beginning of the social engineering. You can definitely see it.
Yeah, we could go to like different shows too, right? Different shows and ads and compile them, or just start watching YouTube, random shows, and then decide like, is this integration propaganda or is it agitation propaganda, and then classify it. And like this is obviously there's features of both in this, but it's overwhelmingly agitation propaganda, right? Because it's like focusing on fringe issues to try to reintegrate people into sort of mob mentality, and right through virtue signaling and all of that sort of thing. So it's interesting how this is playing out, or the optics of this entire exchange, and who they have on the panel as well. They have a leftist, 3 leftist influencers on the bottom, and then the right-wing guys on the top. But they have only 2 right-wing guys and 3 left-wing guys, and one of the left-wing guys is black. Right, the 2 top, the 2 right-wing guys, they kind of look Jewy as fuck. So it's kind of like weird, the optics.
Yeah, one thing I think is good to look into, but I don't see many people look into it, is like these advertising agencies. Like who are they connected to? Who is funding them? Who owns them? Like you see what I mean? Like I think looking into that would be very fruitful. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see many people do that. You know what I'm trying to say? May
Yeah.
try to do that.
Yeah, and by the way, I believe that I have talked to Nick Fuentes. I believe he was a character named Adam Dole that came on to the debate I had with Andrew Wilson to critique my views, right? He critiqued my definition of technology as being overly general, right? And then saying that you can't classify technology as as a problem if you give it such a general definition. I think that was the brunt of his critique. So then I challenged him. Yeah.
How do you know that was Nick Fuentes?
Because I compared his voice to several other audio clips of him and the voice, and to anybody I showed it to like 3 or 4 different people, and they said it clearly sounded like 90% like him. Right, so
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So you are being watched by these guys. You know, I mean, these power.
Perhaps
yeah.
I don't think my show's enticing enough, but I think for some of these other guys, like maybe some of the guys that have more like intellectual tastes, right? Like they might be getting into the articles we read or something like that. Or even some of the information you present on neuroscience.
It could just be some of the other people that come on your shows.
Yeah. Like for example, like this guy Andrew Wilson, he said that he was a robotics engineer. So, and this was for I think a meat packing plant. So, so he may have, so he may be interested in topics of science, engineering, technology, so on and so forth, right? So I think generally where their tastes are not, their intellectual tastes and their intellectual acumen is not what they present on screen. Right, because
let me tell you this though. I know this guy who was a consultant for like AI or like automation, or rather, I read what he had to say, and he told me that once he was going to give consulting advice to like a CEO or like someone, and the only thing they're looking for is to cut costs down. They don't care if they fire people and they move towards automation. It's the same way with eco consultants. You know about eco consultants? They're just looking for ways to bypass environmental regulations to help the corporations grow more and more. They don't really care about, helping the environment or anything. It's all about, finding loopholes and bypassing it. That's why regulations do not help. They just, there are always holes or loopholes in regulations. And the big corporations always find ways to exploit them.
And like we know that's what there's like chemical dumping and stuff, and I mean,
it's obvious.
EPA.
Yeah, I know EPA is corrupt. FDA is corrupt also. Yeah, that's why I did not fall for 2019. I did not fall for that hoax. But this stuff is obvious. Yeah, I mean, it does get repetitious after a while, but it's still important to be said. And I feel like the obvious stuff is not the kind of stuff these stupid panelists talk about. These retarded morons. They never talk about that.
That's one thing we can agree on.
Yeah, we could turn some of that on after this, but we should maybe, well, I should maybe go soon and do the other stream, but yeah, we'll see where Neuro's at, honestly. But yeah, let me play more of this.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but the issue is, why does he have such a loyal following? Why does he have such a large and loyal following? Now, you can ask that question about Donald Trump, and a lot of people are satisfied by saying, oh, America's just filled with racists and misogynists and xenophobes, and he's playing into that. And maybe that is part of it. Politicians do demagogue and play to our worst instincts always, but there was a lot more to it than that. And I think people understand 10 years later that there is and was a lot more to that.
Oh, I forgot. So on the bottom panel, check this out. On the bottom panel, you literally have a twink, a gay dude, and a black dude. It's crazy, man.
It's literally like, trying to be as woke as fuck.
It's the woke like bottom panel, and then the top panel, which is like two people pretending that they're right wing, but they're actually like liberal Christians or whatever.
Yeah, it was the same with George Floyd. If George Floyd, you had a Chinese guy, you had a white guy, you had different races, and it felt like it was a crisis act there. You know what I mean? And
right.
I think he had connections with Freemasons too, from what I read.
Yeah, you got a lot of diversity on this panel to offset the last panel where he had a racist, xenophobic, homophobe, whatever. Like what?
So you can say, oh yeah, Nick Fuentes has this army of angry young men who are incredibly devoted to him, who believe that he's speaking truth uniquely, because they're also a bunch of Nazis and racists and Jew haters. And okay, that's an easy. I think there's a lot more to it, and I think people ought to grapple with the reason why he's speaking for so many.
No,
people.
I think that's a very valid point. I've always said about Andrew Tate, for example, that a lot of the things he says I can understand. If you're a young, slightly disenfranchised young man, you feel society has got it in for you, and all you ever hear is man bashing. I can understand why you gravitate to a guy like Tate, who stands there tall and proud as a very masculine kind of guy, beating his chest, talking about taking care of your body and getting fit and being a protector and all these things. I get all that. But then he slides into brazen misogyny, which I hate. Mark Lamont Hill, let me bring you in here. I mean, I just want to, before you say what you want to say, what he said after the interview, Nick Fuentes, was Piers Morgan tried his best, but his hardball interrogation made me look even better than Tucker's wildly criticized softball interview. The regime can acquiesce like Tucker, or it can try to resist like Piers, but the result is inevitably the same total Groyper victory. Now, look, on one level, I admire his social media work, right? He goes on the attack, he gives it full bells, he claims total victory. It's very Trumpian, and it can work. It can be very effective, okay?
The dude at the bottom tried to hold in his laugh.
And I'm sure all his supporters...
Right.
He straight up, right when he said that, the dude with the blue light behind him did everything he could to hold in that little smirk.
Yeah, because he knows, because he had the dude on, and the dude was like propping him up. He's like, yeah, it's great how you handled the Nick Fuentes interview. like, I'm not saying I agree with what he said, but it was great how you handled it. It's like, what? Like, just say what you want to say, man. If that's really what you think.
Disagree.
Yeah. I'll just say something.
It's interesting that he.
This is. I think white lives matter. You know, and saying that is, you know, is considered wrong and racist. But I don't see how it is. You know, white lives matter. You know, all lives matter. But if you say that, you're gonna get in trouble. But what's wrong with saying white lives matter?
I got two things to say because I want to respond to that. The first is Svet doesn't seem to be able to type on your YouTube channel, like TML. She was able to type on Neuro's one, but no one else was typing there. Everyone seems to be on your channel. But yeah, she doesn't seem to be able to type. She's telling me on Rumble that she got like nothing she's typing is showing up. So I don't know what's going on.
On what? On the Cyber Caliphate?
Yeah. I don't think she's banned or muted there. I don't think she's.
Yeah, I'm looking at my chat, so.
Yeah, she's not showing up at all. I'm looking at it as well because I restream like your show, like whichever one I'm on. This one's got the most chat, so that's why I'm restreaming that one. I was restreaming Neuros and then Seditious Glands and then this. I might have been Seditious Glands first, then Neurojax, then this. But yeah, so I bought likes on everything.
That's the Russian Mossad. That's stopping you from. I don't know.
Svet's my fucking friend from fucking.
No, I'm saying the people that are stopping her from commenting.
You're the fucking Khazarians.
Yeah, like the Khazarian mafia. I'm trying to look like. It doesn't say. It says I have 0 people hidden except for MC Nemesis. Because he kept typing N-word in my chat or whatever. So I had to ban him. Because he's trying to like... Because he's one of those people that'll report that shit.
I'm not a mod on this channel. Oh, never mind. I didn't even notice till just now.
Yeah, that's weird. The Russians are blocked from commenting on Cyber Caliphate. It's really weird.
Use me and Tucker Carlson and other people who now do our own shows, whatever, as the regime. Almost like anybody who's older than him is part of some ancien regime that just doesn't get it. You know, all his supporters called me boomer, right? And I was like, I've been called that probably ever. Okay, I'm a boomer. I don't really know what that means, but it just means I'm an old dude who doesn't get it, right? And it may be, as Glenn says, there is a more interesting conversation to be had about why these guys get so popular. And it may be that when I do my old...
Hang on. Yeah, I missed the second part of what I was going to say, was responding to the it's okay to say white lives matter thing. I was modding on a channel on YouTube during 2020, the Summer of Love, that multi-streamed all the protest footage they could find. So there'd be like a dozen cameras on screen, and they just focus on one or the other for the audio, depending on which one looked the most interesting. Dude, the chat was mental. I was like, all the mods started banning everyone for saying white lives matter, WLM. They were banning everyone for it. But I ended up getting made a mod there, didn't I? And I told them, it's like, if you're going to ban anyone for saying that, I'm going to ban anyone who says BLM. They're like, what? You can't do that. So if you're going to ban anyone who says white lives matter or all lives matter, if you're going to ban people for saying that, I'm going to ban anyone who says white lives matter. Get that through your head.
Yeah, it's retarded. You know, like, I think from what I read, from what Moontan was saying today, I think Europe is in a little bit of a better situation because, you know, some Europeans, they don't want the flood of immigrants. You know, they don't want it. And the European politicians, they tend to, you know, tell the Europeans that, oh, you're privileged or you're living in luxury and you should feel guilt. You should feel guilt for your prosperity. So you should let the immigrant.
Yeah, white guilt. I've got a channel on Telegram called White Replacement Theory.
Yeah.
Like, I actually have a whole channel on that shit.
What's wrong? You don't want Killmonger to come into the British Museum and tell all the white curators that we're taking back our artifacts? Wakanda forever.
Yeah, see, I have this Lebanese
All right,
have
Spear
this.
Chucker, go back to live in your mud hut.
Yeah, I have another friend. Okay, you won't believe this. Okay, he's Lebanese, half
Sorry, that was a
Lebanese.
bit racist. I apologize.
No, it's fine. I have another friend who's half Lebanese, and that guy. He's also kind of weird. He's also into trannies or transsexuals or whatever. But that one is like, he went crazy. He went crazy during Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean? And he like I told him like, no, all lives matter and blah blah. And then he just like blocked me for some time, for a year or two. It was crazy. And let me tell
Yeah,
you this.
because it was a psyop on the masses. Like a lot of things here recently that happen, they get people to align with it, and then they spy on you, like with the January 6th thing. I mean, I knew quite a few people who wanted to go up there on January 6th, and I straight up told people, I said, you go up there, I said, something's going to happen. I said, you're going to get scanned or something. What ended up happening? Not only did January 6th happen, but everyone who was within a few quarter miles of the White House, I mean the building or whatever, their cell phones were scanned. So dumbasses. But still the point is like with the Black Lives Matter thing, it's a psyop on the masses. I can tell you, there's quite a few black people near me who did not quite like the whole Black Lives Matter thing. So it comes down to, I think all lives do matter in the sense that all humans deserve life, but, we have laws for a reason. So,
Yeah, that's because you're stable-minded. You know what I mean? You're you're stable-minded. When when BLM happened, and also the 2019 hoax, people were going ballistic. It was like totally calm.
Well, that's what happens when you throw a bunch of psyops back to back to back.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I had something else to say, but I forgot what was it I was gonna say. Let me see. I think we said a lot, but let me see what was. Yeah, you think I haven't really I don't really go out and socialize much, but are transsexuals becoming normalized or something? Because sometimes when I drive, I see a transsexual walking on my street, and I'm like, what?
Okay, look, if I'm being real,
there's always been a few of them around, but
yeah,
yes, it is getting normalized and publicized and actually even pushed, especially in the education system, even over here. So it's not just America. I'm not trying to blame any one particular country, but the media has a lot to blame, or a lot of blame to take for this. Media, when you look at all their marketing campaigns and shit now, it's either biracial couples or trans people. If you do anything wrong, suddenly there's a backlash about every damn thing on the planet.
Yeah, most advertisements I see is always with a black man and a white couple. You never see the white man and the black woman. It's always the black man and the white woman. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy.
I have seen both, to be honest.
Yeah,
I haven't actually seen a white man with a black woman, but yeah, the black woman was definitely the superior in the relationship sort of thing. The white man was a cuck, that type of thing. A little simp boy.
Welcome to psyoping.
I know. Hey, this is what I do. But serious.
Don't it enrage you, white man, when you see that black man touching on that fine white lady?
It's what it's supposed to do. You're supposed to either accept it or get angry.
Yeah, DK, let me tell you something crazy, okay? Once I was going to get money for unemployment, and you won't believe this. Almost every single person getting unemployment was a straight white man. You believe that? It was crazy. And
because they can pay the immigrants less, so the immigrants get the jobs.
Yeah.
They fire all the white people.
Yeah, lots of Indians,
Well, I can tell you from my work experience, Avian, they don't appreciate hardworking white people.
Yeah, not anymore. Not
anymore. Yeah. That's serious. It's because we show everyone else up. I even had this happen at one job.
Well, it wasn't just that. It's like the legal things too. Like as a security guard, you're supposed to be able to stop people from walking out with hamburger, but literally as a security guard, I was told, let them walk out. Don't even call the police. I'm like, oh. And then you wonder why your store has $5,000 in shrink.
You kind of wonder why you even have a job.
Yep. Oh, well, there you go.
Am I just here to open the door for the thieves? Like, what the fuck?
No, that's literally what I was told. So, I don't know what to tell you, but I mean, I can tell you that like the facade of which we live is, I mean, it's always been fake, but I just, it is strange how long it's kept going. Like the consumerism, like when you walk into my Dollar Tree, it's the guy who works there, he's a great dude. He does his best. He's a hardworking dude, but like, we're probably the only customers that actually walk in there and tell that dude, we appreciate what you do here. So I mean, but other than that, it's a bunch of boxes on the shelves that people just, the parking lot's littered and trash. The dumpsters is so overflowing with trash where people come and dumpster stuff. I mean, you're just living in a world where no one really cares about anything, dude. That's really what it comes down to. Is that, and when people do put their time and passions into it's just about as fleeting as what money is. You can only do so much, with being a human and only having so much time on the earth. But a lot of the time, and from what I've noticed in society, it's just that, sure, it's hard when you have to work and stuff. But I mean, I can tell you a majority of people just like, you can't even get people my age, being 30 years old, you can't even get people my age to really care about anything other than just trying to get a paycheck. So, that's why I think it's so funny that people put so much time into, I wouldn't say worshiping these people, but, I can tell you that there's some people who would probably like sniff the shit out of Andrew's ass. So,
to be honest, Andrew Wilson's the most reasonable person on the panel, which is the worst thing. But the rest of these guys are a bunch of idiots. And I don't actually like Andrew Wilson much, but he's the one who said the best things so far. How fucked up is that?
That's like the old school journalistic trick or something.
Oh, my bad. I was just going to say, then that goes, who's the content really for? Is it for, Piers' audience? Is it for Andrews? Is it for any of these other people who follow them? Is it meant for people like us?
It's meant for Satan.
Everyone's trying to make it for their own audience. Like every single person on that panel is trying to target what they're saying to their audience.
So it's a bunch of fake Illuminati groypers grouping against each other. Great.
Yeah, there you go. Now you get it. Yeah.
Let me in.
Yeah, they're not all groypers, but it's like, yeah, no, I'm showing all my fans. It's like, look, yay, I'm on Piers Morgan. It's like,
I'm sorry, I should have said grifters. Sorry.
Morgan. I'm going to have my say on Piers Morgan. Yeah, it's the fully.
Yeah, well, you know what? I didn't like him. I didn't like him when he was a fucking judge on what was it, the British version of American Idol. So
well, I like it when he has certain guests on. There have been certain times where he just has two guests on, and they argue. Like, which one was it? Rabbi Shmuley, Myron Gaines one. I actually really liked that. That was funny. Myron Gaines just destroyed him. It was fucking awesome. There's a short clip of it if you can find it. Yeah, but yeah, Myron Gaines just fucking destroyed him real quick. Fucking crack up.
Anyway, play the damn video.
Yeah, like what is Myron Gaines? Like
I think he's
like a professional house Negro.
Middle Eastern or Indian or some shit.
Exactly, like he's got a strange look.
But I do. But
he doesn't look like any black or Indian person I've ever seen. That's the weird thing about it.
Yeah, I know, but it was still funny as fuck, is what I'm saying. Because I got sent the clip, but I didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah, it's like he is like a perfect like black Indian like hybrid like weirdo looking dude, like for real, dude. But yeah.
See, now who's being racist? Bloody hell.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to say, like we couldn't even clearly answer the question. Like you literally said, like he's either black or Indian. So it's like, what? Like again, like what is this?
He was the one who actually, you're right. He didn't answer. He's like, yes, some people think I'm not black. They think I'm Indian, rah. But that's a different clip. It's not.
I'm trying to look it up.
Some Indians
look
actually.
up the Piers Morgan one.
I mean, I don't know. I've seen some pretty dark Indians in my time, so.
Look up the Piers Morgan one with Rabbi Shmuley and Myron Gaines. It's quite short.
Oh, it says it says that his real name is Amru Fado.
Yeah, as I said, I'm pretty sure he was Middle Eastern.
And he's Sudanese. I know it says he's from Sudan.
Yeah.
He never actually admitted.
It says he's from Sudan, so he's African.
Okay.
Also,
honest, to be honest, he speaks well. Like, he actually speaks well. And you fully put Rabbi Shmuley in his place. It is funny as.
A lot of Indians, they did migrate to Kenya, and there's a big diaspora of Indians in Kenya. Maybe he's mixed with Indian. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, blessings, DJ Isolator. What's up, man?
But he put it, of just being quite tough and rigorous with questioning, that it's viewed by young people who gravitate to people like these guys as just an old boomer going through the motions.
I mean, you are, but yeah.
Is you think you've got time. You've blinked, and your kids have already left the house, and you haven't been able to provide them with the comfort.
Perhaps. I mean, and also I wouldn't assume that because he said that he believes it, that he actually believes you're part of the regime, or that he believes that one is softball or hardball. He gives a lot of the characteristics, mannerisms, approaches, styles of a cult leader. And cult leaders navigate their followers in very particular ways, including re-narrating or counter-narrating events that happen in ways that are favorable to them. That's why when I said I struggle with whether or not you should have him on the show, I didn't say you shouldn't, and I didn't say you should. It's a struggle for me. Again, as a journalist, I have interviewed despots, I've killers, people, genocide leaders. I've done it all. And there are days where it feels very clear and obvious why I should do it. They need to be held accountable. They need to be forced to answer tough questions. And I don't put them in contrary to what was said, I don't hold them in a different box than I do Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden or someone who I voted for, potentially, right? They all need to be held to scrutiny. Everybody in power needs to be held accountable. I'm with that. My concern in this...
what are you saying? Like, are you saying that you seriously don't hold, people like Hillary Clinton or these people who literally are complicit with genocide, accountable as some serial killer? What? Who killed 3 people? Maybe?
Basically, we said it. He said he don't put the people he vote for in the same box like he does the people that the other people he interviews. Basically saying that I'll vote for Hillary, but my interviewing with her is no different than if I were interviewing Charles Manson. It basically sounds indifferent.
Particular case though is that I'm not sure what the net gain is. I don't know if you really got to know a better him, not because you didn't do a great job, you did do a great job, but because I'm not sure who the person is behind that persona. And the question I would ask you, Piers, is if you knew ahead of time that doing this interview would double the amount of people who believed in the worst things that he believes, would you still do the interview? If you knew ahead of time that it would double that
honestly
number,
don't think,
would you still do it?
Well, I don't think that is going to be a consequence of it, honestly. But what I do think is that
But if it were,
let me make my point. I don't like generalizing. When Hillary Clinton called Donald Trump supporters, the MAGA supporters, a basket of deplorables, it probably lost that election. When you generalize about millions and millions of people, it's always a very precarious and stupid folly to do that. What I can say with some certainty is that pretty well 100% of his groypers who've directly messaged me or members of my family have been highly abusive, overtly racist, very misogynist, and many of them anti-Semitic. I can say that with certainty. Now, what I don't know is...
I remember what Trump said about the Mexicans. that they're grapists. That shit was crazy, man. Shit was weird.
How many of those are human beings and how many are from a bot farm? Because according to reports in the last 2 days, a lot of his stuff comes from bot farms. I don't know if that's true, but that's been reported in various mainstream papers.
I don't doubt it.
And I don't know how representative these ones on X or Instagram are of the total body of his support. I just don't know. So, you know, I don't want to generalize and say all.
And neither do I, Piers.
I don't want to say all Nick Fuentes supporters are disgusting, because there may be a lot of people. It's a bit like Tommy Robinson.
And to be clear, I'm not saying that. To be clear, I'm not.
Let me finish my point. It's a bit like Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson in the UK, right, is a bit like Fuentes over here. And there's no doubt, as the people marching with him have grown bigger and bigger and bigger, the idea that they're all fascist, racist, whatever, is nonsense. A lot of people are marching for well-intentioned reasons connected with the immigration crisis in the UK. Right? He has bad people as well, and I think he's a malevolent character. But again, I wouldn't generalize anymore about all these people that march.
Can I ask you a question, Pierce?
Yes, yeah, sure.
I would like to dive into.
I didn't generalize.
Well, hang on, let Andrew come in. Let Andrew come in.
Okay.
There was a part of the interview where you were very combative.
So you see that? But yeah, the thing is like these two are on top for a reason, and then they have the guy who's basically Andrew Wilson, you know, like a crony or whatever, on top. You know, so it's just kind of weird. So the three leftists are just there to react, and mostly they've not really critiqued the interview at all.
They haven't said no damn thing.
Yeah, they didn't say shit, but they basically just said like, "Great job on the interview." Like the guy on the bottom left just basically said, "Yeah, I've interviewed like crazy people too." You know, the other two guys just said, "Great job." You know, so like nobody on this panel is here to disagree with anything that was in the interview. This is really strange. I'm kind of noticing that it's kind of a fluff piece for the interview itself.
And you said you haven't even been laid and you're a virgin. This guy's a Roman Catholic,
right?
Isn't he supposed to be a virgin until he's married? Isn't that part of your guys' faith?
To be fair to him, that is. No, I was brought up a Catholic. I'm not a particularly devout Catholic. I disagree with a lot of the church's
But you
teachings.
do agree that Catholics are supposed to remain chaste until marriage, right?
The strict interpretation from the Catholic Church about that is you should.
So how come he didn't get? Shouldn't he get credit for that?
Well, he couldn't.
The idea that he's kind of staying within the confines of his religious beliefs.
I have no problem, but he also
or he can't get any action.
But he also self-identifies as an incel, which is more problematic.
Here's what Mark just said. You see what I mean? Like, he can't get any action. The guy is rich as shit, and he's a good-looking guy. He could get action if he wanted it, Mark. By the way,
now look at how gay Wilson is. He's now defending the fact that Wilson. Wilson is now defending the fact.
I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty gay that you have to defend another man's ability to get pussy.
It's like what? It's like it's like a guy who he just said 5 seconds ago doesn't need to get pussy because he's a Catholic. So it's like, huh. Man, it's like
well, it's also so that way every time someone attacks his masculine persona, he has to come in and boost it back up by saying, "Oh, he can get it if he wants it."
Like, what's the point of defending this point? And what's the point of this black dude saying that? I don't understand.
Hang on,
Andrew.
Hang on, Mark.
I agree with you, Andrew. I'm just teasing.
Just let me finish your point.
I agree with you. I'm just teasing.
What I'm saying to you, though, is this: is that of course he could. The thing is, though, is that if you guys are saying like he's a huckster, he's a fraud, isn't he in fact following rigorously his faith by doing that?
Well, so my response to that, I think it's a really.
What he said.
Hang on, Harry. I think it's
yes,
a really.
It is what he said in the interview.
I want to respond to Andrew.
No, it's not.
I think it's a perfectly valid question. Particularly as I have always said, I'm a Catholic. I was raised a Catholic. I had spiritual guidance from Catholic nuns when I was 12 years old. You know, I go to church occasionally. I'm not devout. I'm not there all the time. I don't agree with some of the Catholic Church's views and policies, and I wish they would evolve faster. However, as speaking Catholic,
So he's not Catholic.
with him, yes, it's a perfectly valid thing that he could say, I am saving myself for marriage. But if that's all he said, fine. But I would argue that, if you look at him as a Christian, for example, how many of his other views are compatible with being a Christian? Right?
His view on the priesthood, for instance, was correct.
His Jew baiting, his overt racism, the despicable way he talks about women generally, and so on. None of those things are what you would categorize as being a good Christian.
Are you Jewish?
I think you can have dogmatic distinctions with.
But serious, his Piers Jewish. Why does he have such a problem? He even said his Catholic religion needs to evolve faster.
Well, that's one thing that yeah, go ahead.
Oh, but like what the shit? It's like, oh no, here's my religion that's been around for thousands of years. Now we need it to evolve. Now we need to change it, and it needs to not be that same religion. Like honestly, how ridiculous of a statement is that?
Yeah, and like
anyone caught it on the on his panel.
Yeah, it's like, how stupid do you sound? Because it's like the guy's friends with a bunch of J's. So like, as the the gentleman on the bottom, right pointed out, like he's had genocidal maniacs, like on his show that approved the killing of like millions of Palestinians and shit like that. Like fucking baby killers and shit. So like, why the fuck, like, is it weird for this dude, like, oh, he's a big meanie to Jews, even though he's friends with them? And like, what? And like, it's just kind of soft, like, I don't know, like he's saying Jew baiting, and we all know like who he's saying that for. It's crazy.
With him, and that's fine within the confines of the faith. But with the points he brought up when he said women aren't allowed to be clergy, that's true. They're not allowed to be clergy by the Catholic faith. And when he said he's saving himself for marriage,
but he also said
when he said women, Andrew, when he but hang on, Andrew, when he said that women shouldn't be allowed to vote and should stay at home, i.e., should also have jobs. Would you agree with that?
The Catholic Church does not have dogmatic teaching on democracy. They're not like, oh, democracy is the standard.
No, I'm asking you whether you think when he says women shouldn't be allowed to vote and should stay at home and not work.
Well, I think most people shouldn't be allowed to vote. I think I would limit suffrage for most people, like our founders did. I think
would you make it specific to women?
Universal suffrage.
Would you make it specific to women?
Not specific. Not specific.
Hang on. Let me finish this.
Why would that matter?
Well, because I do think if you say
limit voting, yes.
I do think after they've waged a 100-year war, women for women's equal rights, to then remove one of the wrenching building blocks of that, which is what the suffragettes fought for, the right to vote. I think if you remove that...
Oh, come on. That whole movement was totally astroturf. That's one. And
well,
two,
it won them the right to vote.
Point this out. There's a good argument from a Christian perspective to make that the husband, the head of the household, should be the one voting. Within his dogma, that would make sense. So there is a Christian case that you could make for that the head of household, the wife, right now, what goes on in Christian households is that the wife is just doubling the vote of the man, right? So this is not against the purview of Fuentes, and it doesn't even sound particularly misogynistic to me.
I will not rest at all. I will not sleep until...
What happened to this lady? Son of a bitch.
They're brought to justice permanently. For life, I won't stop.
Learning more now.
Well, there's one of those. There's one of those white people that's doing great. But all right, so let's.
No, what they're doing is myth or too much medication.
Now, after a suspicious death investigation has been unfolded,
like anyone that's slightly messed up these days is either on drugs or medicated to fuck.
Yeah.
The problem is, I think meth's actually cheaper than most of the medication.
All right, so bat signal to Neurojack. Let's shut this mugger down.
Who else got live?
I'm just gonna I'm trying to go live with music before I sleep. So I should probably try to sleep tonight.
See you later.
Yeah, my sleep's been messed up as well.
Yeah, I didn't sleep yesterday, so.
Dang. Well, I look forward to, yeah, I'll upload the music video. I'll upload it.
Which one, Avian? What are you talking about?
I said, well, upload your music video. Upload
Oh,
it.
thank you. Yeah. The music videos. Yeah, blessings.
Wait, Nero Jack is back. Wow.
Yeah. I sent the bad signal.
I'm here. All right, let's shut her down, boys. Everybody get the link. We shut her down. Get her done. All right, send the link out to everybody who can join over there. I'll leave this up until everybody just leave and put the link in the bottom, and we'll just let everybody click over. Okay? Because I have supposedly 14 people watching, which I don't know if that's true or not. But
I still didn't make the the stream.
9 watching on Cyber Caliphate.
Okay.
Give
How
me
many
a
of you
second.
got Neuro, did you say?
Yeah, we got 9 on the other channel.
Yeah. I don't know how many are watching on my Rumble channel at the moment. Let me check. Yeah, only another 6.
But yes, everybody, appreciate you guys who are here and everybody for participating. Please share everybody else's link. Everybody, please subscribe to each other and join the Discords and whatnot. So, and everybody get ready to go to machines and listen to some music.
Yeah, some of you start joining Rumble. Holy crap. That's where I stream. YouTube won't let me stream. If I do a stream, it actually just takes it down as soon as I try and post it. So I gave up even trying to stream on YouTube. So come find me on Rumble. Same name, DKSpiracy. Come find me on Rumble. Rumble.com. It's going really well. I've only been over there for 7 or 8 weeks now. Almost 8 weeks. You should come over and say hi. Anyway, much love, no fear.
Much love, no fear, DK. Blessings.
Blessings, yeah. See ya. Sorry for taking a while.
Yeah, blessings, bro.
Blessings.
All right,
Yeah, drop the link, machine, so we can.
Yeah, I'm trying to do it as fast as I can, but
No, you're good. Sorry, I should have arranged all that earlier. My bad.
yeah, just it's like yeah, we should kind of drop. Oh wait, oh shit.
I just don't want to lose the audience. We got all these people here. I just want to dump. I don't know how to dump them, but if I could, I'd just dump them over there. But we should try to figure
yeah,
out
you have to go to like the actual episode in the live streams, and and that's how you do it. You go to the you have to click on the actual episode, and then there's an option inside of there on the side tab that
so like dumps, and then I'll put like the link to your stream or something.
yeah, it allows you to search for like a YouTube channel.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me check. Hold on. I'll be right
back.
Let me go check. Hold on.
Yeah, it's like some sort of weird jitsu. I could show you if I screen share, but I'm not live right now, so it wouldn't work. Yeah, and I think I have to start it first. So then you'd have to stay live until I start that shit. It's like this whole thing, bro. So, are you sure? Because like I'm gonna have to restart my computer and shit. Honestly, don't care if we lose everyone. It is what it is. Some weird shit going on at Host Age show. It's like a black guy in like a wizard costume.
A black guy in what?
It's like a black guy in a wizard costume.
Optics are high on that neurocrack.
Yeah, it's definitely strange. Okay, let me put this in the chat here. Yeah, this is the link. So, oh, maybe I should have put link to music show. Whoops. Yeah, so check me out. It's like, honestly, it's different stuff. It's electronic, hip hop, metal. That's mostly what it is. So I wouldn't say a lot of variation, but but yeah. I mean, out of those three genres, it gets pretty experimental. So,
who's the artist for that picture on the Techno Magical Satanism too?
Oh shit! I forgot to put that. That's a music show, because then people pile in there unless you put music. Then everybody just doesn't come. So I need to put music so people know not to come, because then people will be tricked by the title to think it's clickbait, that I'm actually doing a show explaining techno magic Satanism. You know, they'll be like, "We're in," so that won't be good.
How to find out?
That made me laugh so fucking hard, because no, it's funny. So like throughout the last few years, I've played a few like online multiplayer games like Apex or whatever, and there's a lot of like nerdy I guess gay. I mean, you know, there's a lot of trans people who play that game and whatnot. And right before I started messing with the AI, this guy basically told me, he was like, if an AI created a tranny, basically like whatever he was into, sexy enough that he would have sex with it. And I'm just thinking over here, like, and he knew someone who programmed the game, but you know, it really is astonishing that, you know, a lot of the people who are into that stuff are heavily influenced by lots of types of technology. It's not just video games and stuff, but you know, there is something to this whole thing with the technology, man. I haven't figured it out, but technology plays a big role, definitely, for sure.
I can tell you what it is. Okay. You know, there's several reasons to it, but I don't want to make this show go on too long, you know, but my friend, you know, and I've noticed it too, a lot of good computer programmers, they tend to be transsexuals, and they also tend to be good hackers also. So you should be careful. If you use Twitter or something, don't attack the transsexuals too much, because a lot of them are highly autistic and they will hack you if they find out a way to do it.
That sounds legit from my experiences. Yeah.
And there's another reason too. And you won't believe this other reason. It has to do with anime. You know what I mean? There's like a freaking anime.
Oh, I definitely believe that.
Yeah. They're into like some very disgusting hentai or disgusting, you know, femboy stuff, or like whatever, like traps and anime stuff. Like, I think anime has not been overall a net positive to the Western mind. You know, a lot of anime is truly degenerate. You know what I mean? You know, there's anime out there. You know, this is why I don't believe statistics maps on incest, because there's so many anime out there about incestuous relationships between the brother and sister. You know what I mean?
I agree. No, I agree.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. Yeah, like what the hell? Yeah.
Well, I definitely would say technology. Well, not just technology, but the internet was one of the many of Pandora's boxes for sure, allowing every single individual to have almost technically unrestricted access to the internet. It was definitely one of the biggest downfalls, because I know for a fact that, you know, for someone like me, the only way you could get a hold of porn when I was younger was if someone didn't have a magazine or, you know, a VHS, you couldn't watch anything. And nowadays, you know, most sites don't even bother to ask if you're 18. So, you know, at the rate of which anyone can just get a hold of this derogatory, disgusting material, no matter what level it is, you know, that's one of the main reasons why I'm finding no real evidence of being able to really combat any of it. Because, I mean, let's face it, this stuff, there's people from my generation who is influenced by this stuff, who's like those people who we're talking about, compared to someone like me who allegedly was born normal, you know. So, you know, I'm sure there are always many factors that make certain people a certain way, but, you know, technology could be just one of the biggest, well, maybe not pacifiers, but, you know, I don't know. It's definitely a very dangerous water to navigate. As someone who was just messing around with it for fun, you know, I can't imagine what people are really, you know, using this stuff for, and they're, you know, not just daily lives, but, you know, nefariously to, you know, do what they do. So, you know, I don't want to mess with it no more. I can tell you that, you know, like I wanted to see, like I said about my generations and a lot of my music videos, except for certain prompts I wanted to use, I allowed the AI to tell me what it wanted to based on the pictures I was giving. And, you know, a lot of that stuff, it made itself. So, you know, I'm a firm believer that, you know, AI doesn't work by itself. And I don't mean through components and algorithms. So, you know, I did my little testing with AI, and I can tell you, you know, stay as far away from it as you can, not just simply because it's making you stupid. I mean, there's a majority of older people. I can tell you a lot of the older people who I know who mess with like Google and stuff. It's basically psyop them. I mean, they will believe whatever Google tells them over what a family member tells them. So, you know, like, what was it you who said earlier, you know, we're in some really unprecedented times, whether or not technology has been around before, like, you know, hope for the best. I'm gonna get the hell off here. I'll catch your music streaming a little bit, TML, but, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nice talking to you. Hope you have a good night.
You too, man. I'm glad we came around to talk. It's always good to do it. Someone's got to expose this shit, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, blessings, Lord.
Peace, team. I'll watch your stream in a minute.
Yeah, peace on me. I got a lot of LORP videos tonight.
Yep. The link is up. Everybody jump over there.
Yeah, I'm gonna restart
you.
my computer so I can start doing this. So,
All right, cool.
so yeah.
All right, the link's there, everybody. Jump over. Hop over.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, peace, guys.